I'm Darren Smith. It is Newburgh and Boonville meeting for the second time today, as earlier today it was Newburgh winning a wild one, 13-9.
Yeah, something like 33 hits in the games there and just balls flying all over the place. The pitching wasn't very good. I think that's really where both teams want to improve here in the championship game. They really want to get a strong pitched game here at this championship game.
And we take a look at this championship game. A lot of hitting actually throughout the entire weekend for both these two teams, and that sometimes wins your ball game, but you're right. Pitching could be a key here in the second game.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, for Newburgh, for instance, it's starting B.J. Huff, who gave him really a good effort in their opening game against Mount Vernon. B.J., not normally a pitcher, but really gave him a big lift in that game. I think they would accept a similar effort from him here today that would really probably send him on to the regional.
American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. It is Boonville and Newburgh coming up after this timeout.
E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only two things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable & Associates. It's an issue that is mostly spoken in whispers and almost never within the confines of the complete family. Funeral pre-planning. Funeral pre-planning is the considered investment for your loved ones before the moment of ultimate grief. Boone Funeral Homes provide the protection against future financial responsibilities now at unequaled value. It's the investment for your future as well as theirs. For more information about our funeral pre-planning, call one of the Boone Funeral Homes of Evansville today.
Well, we are just underway at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. Again with Michael Pointer, I'm Darren Smith. It is Newburgh and Boonville actually meeting for a second time today. And as we said just moments ago, a wild first game on this Sunday championship day.
Yeah, 13-9, Darren. There were 33 hits between the two teams. Just a really crazy game and not a lot of pitching. And Chris Ware is picking up right where the two teams left off there. He lines a double down the left field line. And Chris had kind of a rough game for him in the first game. I believe he was 1 for 5 for Boonville, Darren. He's really the guy that gets their offense started generally. If he continues to hit like that, Boonville's got to like their chances here in the second game.
Lead-off double for Chris Ware. We are officially underway in game number 2 of the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. It is B.J. Huff getting the starting nod on the hill today for Newburgh, and not a bad hitting game for B.J. Huff. Earlier this afternoon, a little bit more from B.J. The kid who can play so many positions is now on the hill.
Yeah, B.J. in that first game, Darren, was 2 for 4, scored a couple of runs, and also had a couple of RBIs, so he was obviously involved in the offense. And pitching is not B.J.'s primary position, but here's a guy that's been with the Newburgh American Legion team for 3 years. He's been there with them through all this success. He's a guy that should know how to win. And I mean, I would imagine, even though, as I said, B.J. is not a real polished pitcher, he's the type of guy who's going to do whatever he can to get a victory for you.
Down to third moves Chris Ware. Jacob Houston gone, who had a pretty good afternoon earlier. He was 3 for 4, and Jacob Houston will be on the hill later on tonight for Boonville. So 1 through 9 for Boonville, where the leadoff batter doubles now at third. Houston gone 4 to 3. Hodges now bats here out of the 3-hole. Pierman cleanup. Keith Kirkland, Nathan Blackford, Matt Seeby, Tim Bockelman, and John Lutz. Right out here, Boonville 9. Boonville had to win 1 coming on to this day. Newburgh had to win 2. Newburgh has already completed half of what they need to accomplish, and they're trying to win their 4th straight sectional, Michael.
Yeah, quite an accomplishment when you consider the quality of this sectional over the years. The last 7 years, Darren, 4 of the state champions have come out of this sectional, and that's, as I said, that's quite an amazing accomplishment. Newburgh's won it twice during that time. Boonville's won it once, and Funkhauser has won it once. So, as I said, you win this sectional 4 times in a row, you're doing something right.
0-2 here to Bob Hodges, and what a great series this kid has had. Not a bad afternoon. Here's a chopper that may just score the run. It will easily, and there is the second out.
Some good fundamental baseball by Boonville in that sequence there. After Weir leads off with a double, Houston gives himself up a little bit and hits the ball to the right side of the infield, moves Weir over to third, and then Hodges, you know, with Newburgh here in the early going, playing the infield back, he just hits the ball. He got to the shortstop, gets himself an easy RBI. Boonville's on top 1-0. They also jumped on top 1-0 in the first game, Darren, as you know, and it didn't really help them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
It'll be a quick inning, it so appears. That's Josh Helt in time to Arterberry covering at first. 1 run scores, and quickly a half inning in the book at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship between Boonville and Newburgh on TV 52.
Evansville Sheet Metal, working with business and industry since 1946, offers a variety of services, including metal sales, fabrication of custom equipment, prototypes, and experimental projects. They're involved in manufacturing, short-run production, tooling, and on-site installation and repair service. They maintain the most up-to-date technology to support a complete CNC department, as well as multi-axis press brakes, MIG and TIG certified welders, and a large fleet of trucks. Evansville Sheet Metal Works, committed to excellence and to doing it right the first time.
Our personal insurance specialists offer you the reliable, dependable services that have built our agency into one of the area's largest. Now that's a reputation. James Will Insurance. It takes special people with special dedication to create the right insurance protection for you, and then do it right the first time. James Will Insurance.
With Michael Pointer, I'm Darren Smith. Back out at the USI Baseball Complex for the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. It is game number 2 on the day, the deciding game of the Sectional Championship of Boonville and Newburgh. Michael?
All right, leading off here for Newburgh this half inning, the guy that obviously sets the table for him, Sean Bennett, followed by John Clark and B.J. Huff. And B.J., he's such a good hitter, obviously, that you're not going to drop him down to the 9 slot when he pitches, so he'll be hitting third. I noticed it was a left-hander on the mound here that Joe List kind of changes his lineup around a little bit. Keeps really the same kids in the field, but just moves them around a little bit. Dwayne Causey, who hit down the 7th slot in the first game, now moves up to the number 4 spot. He's a right-handed hitter. And Josh Held, who was hitting second, drops all the way down to 7th. So same kids in the field, just a little different look with a left-hander started here for Boonville.
Yeah, and Causey hit the ball very well, I thought, in that first game earlier this afternoon. For those who were out here, you certainly saw that. Even though he threw a couple of the outfield deep, they were well-hit balls. And Causey, like I said earlier in the season, is playing about as well as can be expected. He's just an outstanding hitter. Sean Bennett, speaking of outstanding hitters, not a bad earlier afternoon. Leads off things here for Newburgh Cattlemen, and that is Jacob Houston. On the hill for Boonville post 200. Here is the team that no one thought would be in the championship game, or at least it wasn't likely, you thought, back about a month ago. But Boonville has played their best baseball in the past week.
Yeah, they played very, very well the first 2 games of this tournament, but really didn't get much pitching. There's a fine play by Pierman.
High chopper for Pierman. Size at the corners. Pierman to Blackford defensively tonight for Boonville. Battery Houston and John Lutz. That's Nathan Blackford over at first base. Bob Hodges down at second. Keith Kirtland tonight is at shortstop. And again, Pierman is your third baseman. Left to right for Boonville is Matt Seavey. Tim Bachleman, a great center fielder for Boonville, and Chris Weir. So Bennett down, here's John Clark. Takes the first pitch. Not waiting at all to go after him, actually on both ends. A couple of pitches, and we have 2 away as Clark goes out to Hodges, the second baseman. 2 quickly down here, Mike.
Yeah, and Boonville getting a chance to face B.J. Huff in exactly the situation they want to face him with nobody on. Interested to see Houston here. He's a young man who's obviously got a lot of ability. He's played very well in the field for Boonville in this tournament. Going to be returning to Boonville High School, I believe, next year. And I really haven't had a chance to see him play much for this weekend, Darren. I've been very impressed.
A couple of kids stepping up, making themselves known in the past couple of months or so here of American Legion Baseball. So a couple of first-timers here, at least here on TV 52, that really impressed us this summer. But here are the best 2 in this tournament. Boonville falling earlier this afternoon by a score of 13-9. And again, it's like old hat. Newburgh trying to win their 4th straight after beating Pate last year. They dropped an early game over at Bossy Field, so they just had to win 1. So Pate won the first last year, and then, of course, Newburgh went on to win that, the regional, and finish 2nd in the state. They've been to the state the past 3 years and have won 1 state title. Huff's on after getting the first 2 of these, and B.J. Huff just usually finds a way to do that, get on base.
And that pitch there, Darren, an indication that the strike zone might be a little tired this game. Terry Peckinpah, who's now down at third base, he was the home plate umpire in the first game. Very wide strike zone, as we observed. You know, he called a lot of stuff on or just off the corners. That time, Houston really didn't miss by much. Looked like he might have even cut part of the plate. Umpire Brian Garland, who's now behind the plate, said no. And the batter, Huff, walks on 4 pitches. Now he gets ahead of Causey here.
And a Causey, 0-1. Causey 3 for 6. That's what kind of game it was. 6 at bats for most players.
Yeah, Dwayne had a good day at the office in the first game, and let's see hitting out of that very important number 4 hole. See if he can keep that up.
Nice pitch there by Jacob Houston. I get my first look at Jacob Houston on the hill for Boonville. And it's 0-2. Facing his 4th batter here, bottom half of the first inning, and we are scheduled to go 9. A 15-run rule inserted after 5, or 10 after 7. And what you thought might happen in the first game did not. 13-9 was that final, and at one point it was 13-3. Causey couldn't get out of the way of that one. And it's 1st and 2nd here for Newburgh Capperman.
Well, that's not a very good sign for Boonville there, because it shows that Houston may not be really in control of his pitches or just a control period. He had an 0-2 count on Causey, and I'm sure he didn't want to groove one. Maybe throw it right off the plate. Instead, he throws it way inside, and I think it got Causey. It looks like they got him on the arm. I thought at first maybe got him on the helmet, but they're spraying some solution on his arm down there at first base.
Andy Southworth also 3 for 6, was on 4 times. Scored 3 times today, Andy Southworth. 3 of Newburgh's 13.
Yeah, Andy's another guy here late in the year. The last 3-4 weeks has kind of picked it up for Newburgh. He was alternating a little bit at third base early in the year, but he's really kind of become the everyday third baseman here in tournament time.
Houston comes the first time to Southworth for strike 1. Houston appears no problem getting out early. Had Causey before hitting him. Arterbury on deck. Helt, Toon, and Wes Carroll round out your Newburgh 9 in the championship game of the American Legion Baseball Evansville Sectional. And right there is Keith Kirkland. Boonville takes a 1-0 lead into the 2nd inning. The 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship is on TV 52.
Tri-State rides on Ray-Ban.
Ray-Ban is where the Tri-State goes for quality tires and friendly service. Ray-Ban has the Goodyear tire for you, for your family car, or your pickup truck. Ray-Ban is the Tri-State service leader, and our certified technicians can do everything from brakes to computerized alignments with a nationwide guarantee.
The Tri-State rides on Ray-Ban. Ray-Ban tire.
A few years back, Mark Williams came to us to plan for his retirement. Last year, the Crawfords came to us to remodel their home. Last month, Albert Whitaker came to see us for a new tractor wheel. And just last week, Denise Linhart came in for an auto loan. Because we like to take the lead when it comes to helping our customers. After all, isn't that what friends are for? Citizens Bank, leading the way.
With Michael Pointer, I'm Darren Smith, back out at the USI Baseball Complex for Boonville and Newburgh, the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship game. And again, earlier today, 13-9 in favor of Newburgh. And as I was saying, they were out 13-3 at one point for a big 6th inning for post 200.
Yeah, Boonville made a nice run in that inning, but really never threatened as that there. And then as we saw that first game, the drama was really kind of taken out of it pretty quick. And here was a guy that, with all that offense, Keith Kirkland really kind of struggled that first game. He went 0 for 5, so I would imagine Keith, you know, a Boonville High School player, he's probably not feeling real good about himself right now. He'd kind of like to atone for that.
Record the last out. The shortstop on the liner. The liner by Southworth. So here in the top half of the 2nd inning, it's Kirkland, Blackford, Seaby, Bachlam, and Lutz. Round out your 9 here for Boonville. And this one taking quite the distance. And backing up is Clark in left field. One long out, and Kirkland retired for a 6th time today.
Sean gave that ball a pretty good poke, and as we said, you know, down the lines and out in left field, this is not a hitter's ballpark at all. A lot of room to roam, and Clark used quite a bit of it going back to make the catch, and it looked like he had a pretty good beat on most of the way there.
Well, there's Nathan Blackford, and Blackford was one guy hard to get out today. He walked 3 times early this afternoon. He singled, and he also doubled.
Yeah, had a couple of RBIs as well. As we said, you can get this guy out with the curveball, but boy, you do not want to try to sneak a fastball by him because he'll jump on it.
Big Nathan Blackford takes a look at ball 1. It's 1-1 here to Nathan. Huff and Toon your battery tonight for Newburgh. Chris Arterbury at first. Again, Wes Carroll at second. Josh Helt your shortstop. Andy Southworth at third. Clark Bennett and Dwayne Causey left to right.
Nathan's father, Craig, was a standout football player at the University of Evansville back in the early 70s, and briefly went to training camp with the Denver Broncos. So quite an athletic background in his family.
2 balls and a strike here to Nathan Blackford. Blackford may be gone the first time today. Again, that's Josh Helt, the shortstop, and finally they're able to get Blackford. Kind of a gutsy move by Arterberry. You don't want to get into a collision with that guy.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, he's got about 50 or 60 pounds on Chris.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, on a play like that, you don't see the collisions quite as much as you would the plate, obviously, and they had him pretty easily. And a pretty good play by Chris come off the bag because the throw was high.
And Blackford down the first time today. Retire him 6-3, and here is Matt Seeby. Seeby got the starting nod.
Yeah, he had a tough afternoon after pitching so well against Funkhauser. You know, in Boonville's first game in the tournament, a 9-5 victory for Boonville. He really got knocked around. Didn't get through the 3rd inning today.
0-2 here to Matt Seeby. Bonkelman on deck. 2 down on B.J. Huff's side. B.J. Huff delivers 0-2 and works quickly. Comes right at you. Right there is Southward trying to hold on, and they count him down. 3 up, 3 down. That's the way it goes here in the top half of the 2nd inning, and Boonville takes a 1-0 lead in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Boonville Newburgh, the American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
Craftsmanship. Craftsmanship in law. Berger & Berger, making a world of difference.
I got it. I got the car. I got the convertible. Isn't it great? I can't believe it. I got the loan. I got the bank. I got the...
The way some people react to their first new car, you'd think they'd gotten a medal for growing up.
You got to hear the stereo.
But with 160 years of lending experience, we don't think of your first new car as a medal. Nah, it's more like a trophy.
You earned it. I did, didn't I? And it's also got the power windows and the power locks and the move.
Hey, life can be fun. At your bank for life, Old National.
I'm Darren Smith alongside Michael Pointer of the Evansville Courier. Bottom half of the 2nd inning. It'll be Arterberry held in tune down to Carroll to round down the 9 the first time for Newburgh Capman, who trailed Boonville by a score of 1-0. Michael?
And Chris Arterberry, he got in some of the offensive fun earlier today, went 2 for 5, scored 3 runs for Newburgh, and also had a couple of RBIs. So he just blended right in with the rest of everybody else and has found himself on base several times today.
This again is Jacob Houston on the hill for Boonville. Nice rip shot for a base hit. Pass Blackford into right field, and Ware coming on. Takes a look, thinks better of it. Leadoff single for Arterberry. That's the first hit off of Houston. Houston, who faced 5 back in the first, walked B.J. Huff, and then hit Dwayne Causey. So Arterberry gets the first for Newburgh, and the leadoff single, and it brings up Josh Helt.
Josh Helt was a guy who missed most of the regular season for Newburgh during their first tournament of the season. I think it was the open weekend of the season. They were in a tournament in Paducah, Kentucky, and Josh hurt his knee a little bit and had arthroscopic surgery and missed most of the year. So he was out for quite a bit. Wes Carroll played some shortstop. Some other guys played as well. But here's a guy who should really be one of the best players in the city next year for Harrison High School. And kind of keep up a long tradition of Helt's playing for Newburgh. I believe he's the 3rd Helt who's played for them. 2 other older brothers played for Newburgh.
Yeah, and a couple are also amongst the leaders in several categories. But this is Josh Helt, and of course, as Michael said, yeah, he'll be a good one next year for head coach Andy Rice. And you talked about early this afternoon, Michael, how Harrison is going to be hurt because of what they lost, and probably 2 of the better pitchers in the SIAC. But they got some talent coming back, and here's a kid expected to lead them next year in Josh Helt.
Yeah, their starting 8's going to be pretty good. I think their question is going to be pitching, and until Harrison breaks through and wins a sectional, I think they'll always have that question hanging over their head. You know, can they break through and actually have some postseason success? Because this year I really thought they had a golden opportunity to win that, Darren, and they played a team in North, a very young team who they really, I mean, it was one of those things you look at on paper and you thought Harrison really had a substantial talent advantage, and they had a 3-2 lead going into the 7th. A guy like Lynch on the mound, you're thinking, hey, we're in great shape, and they end up losing 5-3. So You know, until they break through and get that sectional, they're always going to have that hanging over their heads.
Okay, Josh. Foul ball. Count. 2-1 here to Held. Toone and Carroll again, rounding down the 9. You're talking about sectional success for Harrison. It took them 30 years to win a basketball sectional.
And there are some basketball fans in town who will tell you they wouldn't have won it that year, except they split the sectional. Central probably would have won it because Central drilled them in the regional.
And in their defense, I mean, look at how tough the sectional fields, actually in all sports, have been from this area.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
2-2 will check back over at first again. Arterberry with the leadoff single.
Talking about high school baseball a little bit for next year, Darren, in that Evansville sectional, I think you're looking at Memorial being back to their old selves. I think they're going to be very, very strong this year. And I think this Castle bunch is going to be pretty good as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the coaching situation, how that affects it over there.
Chris Weir in the right field. And we have one away. Yeah, Castle will be strong next year, so will Memorial. And a lot of folks talking about that Central ball team.
Yeah, they'll probably be the favorites in the Mount Vernon section, I would imagine, Darren. They've got to find some pitching. Apparently, this Jim Nellis, who was academically ineligible for them this spring, had a pretty good summer for Pate. And I'd imagine he's going to get a real chance to establish himself as their #1 pitcher next year, him and Matt Mossbacher. If both those kids come through, they could be pretty decent. They just haven't done so yet.
Eric Tassa coming back, John Tackett. That's going to be a very strong bunch over at Central next year.
I agree with you very much.
Matt Toone, the catcher. Toone, another tough out to get today. Had 4 singles hit and also walked. Like a Nathan Blackford was amongst the toughest to get out on the Newburgh side. Down to second moves Arterberry. So he records his first stolen base of the day. He's down at second with an out.
Excuse me, Darren. I thought Boonville might ask for a catch for an interference there on the batter a little more. The Toone was out over the plate quite a bit. And as I said, as long as the batter's in the box, the umpires will let that play go. But if he steps out over the plate like Toone did, sometimes they'll call it interference. And now that's a really big play because here with the wild pitch, the runner will go to third and less than 1 out. Now he can score on all kinds of things, Darren.
Tying run, yeah, 90 feet away here for Newburgh Capperman.
Well, they'll probably score at a wild pitch, but I'm sure the catcher, John Lutz, probably feels like he could have done a little more to knock that ball down. The ball got through his legs. If he was a little more lower to the ground, probably would have stopped it. But that play kind of hurts.
2-1 here to Toone. Not a bad hitting Toone. Like I said, he was tough to get out today, and there is strike 2. Toone didn't think so. The count 2-2. Important now to get here in Toone. We'll take our first look at the day on Carroll. Carroll did not play in the first game.
You know, if Matt Toone was in the major leagues, I have a feeling Chris Berman could have some fun with his name.
Yeah. T-O-O-N-E, though. Missing down low in 3-2.
I think Matt named that Toone. Would be the first one.
Well, that'd be one of them.
Yeah, that'd be one of them, right. Oh, I'm sure Matt's probably heard a heck of a lot more of those than we ever have. So.
3-2 pitch. Got him.
Oh, nice pitch.
Jacob Houston. A great offensive day earlier today, now on the hill. And he records strikeout #1 for him in this championship game.
Well, we were wondering why, after he had 3 hits there, and why they took him out late in the game, that first game. I think we're seeing the reason why. Dave Sensenbrenner, the Boonville manager, probably realized that they didn't have much of a chance to come back in that game, so he said, well, I'm going to start him on the mound. Let's let him give him a little bit of rest. And so far, throwing the ball pretty well.
And Sensenbrenner probably sensed something, and yeah, here they are on the championship game.
Right.
Pun intended, yeah. Ninth batter here at Carroll, his first action on the day. Houston facing his 4th batter here in the 2nd. 5 batters face back in that first. Like I said, he walked one and he hit a batter. 90 feet away here is Arterberry.
Here's a kid here, Darren, I think people are going to enjoy watching immensely over the next 3 years. Started as a freshman this year at Castle.
Younger brother of Jamie Carroll, of course, now with the U of E.
He can do a lot of things for a young man his age. He's got an extremely quick bat, can run, pretty good throwing arm. It's just going to be a pleasure to watch him develop over the next 3 years.
Following in the footsteps of brother Jamie. Had quite a career here with Joe Liss. Played some JUCO ball, and like I said, now with Jim Brownlee in the Aces. He got him. Houston picks up 2. His first 2 of the day here in the 2nd inning. 90 feet away, they leave Arterberry. You're watching the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only two things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable and Associates.
Evansville Sheet Metal, working with business and industry since 1946, offers a variety of services, including metal sales, fabrication of custom equipment, prototypes, and experimental projects. They're involved in manufacturing, short-run production, tooling, and on-site installation and repair service. They maintain the most up-to-date technology to support a complete CNC department, as well as multi-axis press brakes, MIG and TIG certified welders, and a large fleet of trucks. Evansville Sheet Metal Works, committed to excellence and to doing it right the first time.
Top half of the third inning with Michael Pointer. I'm Darren Smith. American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. Boonville and Newburgh. And Newburgh trying to win it for a fourth straight time. Trying to return to the state championship. The winner of tonight's game will go play in Princeton. That's this year's regional. So 1-0 after two complete. Top half of the third. And for Boonville, we're looking Tim Bockelman, Lutz, and then back on top to Weir.
Darren, you mentioned that Princeton Regional. That's going to be a little bit more competitive regional, I think, this year, because Princeton is the host team, and they've got Alan Stunkel and Brad Hearing coming off, pitching far and playing in the field, doing a great job there. And those were the two stalwarts for Gibson Southern's team that went to the state finals. They got a pretty good. They've got some pretty good pitching depth, and I think they're going to be very, very competitive up there. And I don't think the winner of this sectional has the free pass into the state tournament that they've had in some other years.
Base hit for Bockelman, so Bockelman picks up where he left off actually earlier today. So Bockelman an early 1-for-1, and that is the second base hit off of B.J. Huff. A double earlier by Weir, and now the ninth batter here is John Lutz.
Be interesting to see maybe if Boonville tries to sacrifice here. If they play for the big game a little more. Number 9 hitter up, pretty good hitter on deck, Chris Weir, and there's the bunt.
Not at the best of. Not the best of into the glove of Matt Toon. Lutz either struck out or walked. Struck out actually 3 times, walked twice earlier today.
Hey, even though he didn't get it down that time, I would not be surprised to see them bunt again. Southworth, Andy Southworth, the third baseman for Newburgh, well in on the grass, about 10 or 15 feet. So he's obviously looking for the bunt.
1-0 in favor of Boonville. Keep an eye on Bockelman.
Right. Thought maybe, yeah, he might try to steal a base here, Darren. Good point. He's got excellent speed. Maybe that's the reason why Wes Carroll, the second baseman, is playing so far over towards the bag in case of a steal. Because he's really playing well over towards the second base bag. Kind of interesting alignment. Southworth way in. Sometimes, as many of our viewers know, the second baseman will cover on this bunt play, but boy, he'd have to run a long way, the second baseman Carroll, to get over there in case of a sacrifice this time.
Check back over at first, just in case Bockelman has any ideas. He's back out by 4. 0-1 here to Lutz, with Chris Weir on deck. Move will try to add to the 1-0 lead. Right back here to Huff. Yeah, it's going to get Bockelman there, so a nice job by John Lutz. And down in scoring position, Boonville has their second. Weir was there earlier. He scores, and that brings up Chris Weir.
Well, when your pitcher does a pretty good job of getting off the mound like Huff did, you really don't have to have that kind of alignment on. You can just let your first baseman stay back and field it. And BJ did do a good job of getting off the mound, but give credit to John Lutz. Excellent bunt to get the runner over. Now you got a couple of good hitters coming up. So Boonville's got to like the way this inning is setting up right now.
Chris Weir doubles and scores back in the first and fouls this one back. Jacob Houston on deck. Hodges. Speaking of the aces earlier, and Jim Brownlee was out here again this afternoon to take a look at Bob Hodges, who is going to try to play for the aces next year, Michael.
It's an Evansville Coach Fest out here today, Darren. Mike Gady of USI, Jim Brownlee of UE, and your friend Bruce I is out here as well today.
I think Bruce showing around a couple of prospects.
I think he was,
campus.
Yes.
1 ball and 1 strike. Into center field. Charging here is Bennett, and he has it. So after the single by Bockelman, Lutz on the sacrifice, and Weir is gone. Jacob Houston, the pitcher.
Jacob could really help himself out here, Darren. As you said, 3 hits in the first game. And he'll probably get something pretty good to hit with Bobby Hodges on deck. That really obviously helps Jacob hitting out that number 2 hole, because teams really don't want to get to Hodges too much, I would imagine. And he just came through.
Right up the middle. Bennett charging again, this time on the ground. They send the runner. We'll have a play here at the plate. 2 come together, he's gone. Toon held his ground, able to get Bockelman. And that's the way it goes here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Just getting started on a Sunday night. The 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
The Tri-State rides on Raven.
Raven is where the Tri-State goes for quality tires and friendly service. Raven has the Goodyear tire for you, for your family car, or your pickup truck. Raven is the Tri-State service leader, and our certified technicians can do everything from brakes to computerized alignments with a nationwide guarantee.
The Tri-State rides on Raven. Raven tire.
Honey, this is a lot of luggage to take to the lake.
Most folks pack a lot of hopes and dreams into their retirement plans. But if you want to make it to that destination in style, talk to Old National. They'll get you there. After all, they've put people on the road to retirement for over 160 years.
Hawaii?
Honolulu.
Oh, honey, thank you.
Life can be fun. At your bank for life, Old National.
We thank you for staying up tonight for the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. And Newburgh has it to say, funny meeting you here. Boonville in the Battle of Warwick County tonight, Michael.
Yeah, and just a tremendous defensive play on both ends there at the end of the 3rd inning. Bennett did a great job of charging the ball, then made an excellent throw almost right on the plate. And then the catcher, Toon, did a great job of blocking it. And with that great throw from Bennett, he really didn't have to move that much. And I don't think Bockelman, who has pretty good speed, I don't know if he ever did reach the plate. So just an excellent defensive play. And even with all the hitting we had in the first game, Darren, there was still some pretty good defense. I mean, those were legitimate hits we had earlier today. The play I'm thinking in particular, Chris Ware made a tremendous diving catch down the right field line. Just one of the best plays we've probably seen all year here in the Legion games. And that play right there between Bennett and Toon, again, a thing of beauty.
And Toon and Bockelman into each other, and
Mr. Bennett's leading off this inning as well.
They came into each other. Look, a little jabbering was going on towards the end. Those guys, if I'm not mistaken, are teammates.
Toon has had a little verbal warfare going on with this Boonville team all day. If you remember earlier, I think when this first game, Lutz was called out and on a called 3rd strike, and as he left, I think Toon said something to tick him off. That might. Well, that's the problem there with Sean Bennett. You bobble the ball just once with his kind of speed there, and it's all over but the shouting. Both players, the 3rd baseman, Pierman, would have still had a pretty good chance to get the out, but not with Bennett. He just got too good a speed, and the ball was hit pretty hard, and they give him a hit on that play. So Sean reaches base. What I was alluding to earlier, Lutz was called out on the 3rd strike, and I think Toon said something to kind of tick him off a little bit, and Lutz was yelling at him on the way back to the dugout. Toon just took his mask off and was smiling all over the place. So, and I think Sean Bennett, at least on that first pitch, had a really, really tough time getting a read on his pitcher, Houston, the left-hander. Sean was actually going back towards the bag as the pitch came home, and you know Sean is going to try to steal it every opportunity, but it's pretty tough when you're a base stealer and you're heading back towards the bag.
2-0 here to Clark. John Clark pops out to the 2nd baseman. Hodges back in the 1st inning. Bennett on, he's an early 1 for 2, and as Michael said, Bennett always a threat to go. B.J. Huff is on deck. He walked and was left at 2nd back in that 1st inning. Newburgh down by a score of 1-0. Come right back, Jacob Houston. 2 balls and a strike here to John Clark.
Sean stole 45 bases this year, a city record. Yeah, that includes postseason play as well. So he did a pretty good job. The 2 leading base stealers in the SIAC are in this game this past season. Sean Bennett and Chris Ware of Castle, now playing right field for Boonville.
Castle very well represented here with these 2 teams tonight. Like I said, a lot of former teammates from just this past spring going against each other here tonight.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why this rivalry is a great rivalry. You got the inter-county aspect there, and you've got a lot of kids who play together, you know, at Castle now playing against each other. It's split almost 50-50. And we mentioned Sean having a tough time picking up this pitcher, and he steals it anyway.
That's typical Sean Bennett. And it does not surprise me at all.
Well, I think Sean realized pretty early on he was going to be dead if he went back to first, so he just took off for second. When you got speed like he does, you know, you're going to make that play more often than not. And, you know, once again, just shows why I'm sure the University of Evansville baseball coaching staff is kind of drooling at the prospect of having him next year. Just to talk about Sean's situation a little bit, he really did want to play Division I football, didn't get any scholarship offers in that. He's received an academic scholarship at the University of Evansville where he'll play both football and baseball. I know Sean's being told by a lot of people he's probably got more of a future in baseball, but he likes football a little more, so he's a little torn right now. He wants to continue playing football, but everybody keeps telling him your future's in baseball, so he's kind of in a tough spot right now.
Well, that last one gets Bennett over to third base. John Clark rounds out to the first baseman. B.J. Huff. Another great year for B.J. And Dave Sensenbrenner now to talk to Jacob Houston here. First-year head coach, Dave Sensenbrenner.
And again, a pretty good hitting there by John Clark. Gets Bennett over to third, and with B.J. Huff, such a tremendous hitter up, this is a great RBI opportunity for Boonville. Excuse me, for Newburgh. Now, I got to believe that Dave, even though he's talking with his team here, with a great runner like Bennett on first and a great hitter like Huff at the plate, you got to play your infield back, and if the ball's hitting the ground, take the out, because Sean is just too fast. Unless it's just a bullet, you're not going to get him at the plate, and you got to expect BJ. He's usually going to get pretty good contact. So if I'm Dave Sensenbrenner, I play the infield back, give up the run. It's still early. It'd only be 1-1. And he's playing them back on the left side of the infield, but they're kind of halfway on the right side. Blackford, the first baseman, and Bobby Hodges at second. Now Bobby backs up a couple of steps after that first pitch, but I really think you're asking for trouble if you play the infield too far in here, because BJ will just hit a shot right over your head.
BJ 3 for 5 today, including a ground rule double. Also came in to score once, walked today too. BJ Huff now ahead 2-0. Dwayne Causey on deck. He was hit back in the first inning, 90 feet away here. The would-be tying run at Sean Bennett. It's 1-0 in favor of Boonville. 3-0.
Jacob's been all over the place a little bit here to Huff, and 3-0, as a quality hitter he is, I'd imagine he'll still be swinging. Well, he won't swing at that pitch because it's in the dirt.
Take the pass, runners at the corners. Now you've got two excellent base runners on. One just 90 feet away and not too shabby in B.J. Huff either.
Right, but on the flip side here for Boonville, you do set up a double play situation as well, and Causey not as fast as these two guys on the bases, so if he hits the ball hard on the ground somewhere, you do have a chance to turn too.
Causey likes to take a lot to the field. I've noticed that just in the past month or so in watching Dwayne Causey. A lot of nice hits to the outfield, deep ones too. Huff wastes no time. He's off to second, bluffs the throw, and Bennett not fooled.
Yeah,
He's off a little bit by third, but he got back in time.
Well, I was wondering if BJ was going to try to take that situation out, that double play situation away by trying to steal a base. I didn't think they would throw through with Bennett on third base, and they didn't. So a pretty easy stolen base. Now Causey, with a base hit, could drive in two and give Newburgh the lead.
Well, no strikes here to Dwayne Causey with just one away. That one fouled off for a 1-1 count. Even if Causey can get it to Bachman, as he did several times earlier this afternoon, that's going to get Bennett in and tie up the game.
Unless he pops up, strikes out, or hits it back to the pitcher here, Darren, I think he's going to get an RBI with Bennett on third base.
Southworth is on deck. Right now, all eyes on Causey with 2 on. Chopper right here, and they're going to go right to the plate to try to get Sean Bennett.
I was wrong.
That time, Lutz holds on, so each end, earlier Toon, and this time Lutz able to hold on to get the out. That's the second. Down goes Bennett.
Good job there by Lutz, hold on to the ball. He's not the biggest catcher in the world, and Sean Bennett with his speed, and he was like a Mack truck in football, the way he hit people. He tried to take Lutz out of play there. Lutz did a pretty good job of protecting himself and also hold on to the ball at the same time. And give Boonville credit there. I thought they didn't have much of a chance of cutting down the run there with Bennett on third base, but they did just that. And they could really, really dodge a bullet here if Jacob Houston can retire Andy Southworth.
Well, they scored that last one 5-2. Here we get Southworth, who lined to the shortstop. Kirkland to end the first. He has a chance to end the third. Fifth batter faced here in the third inning. Moving a lot quicker along than the earlier game today. First game going in the neighborhood, I'd say, of what, 3 hours maybe?
I think it went about 3 hours and 5 minutes, Darren.
13-9 earlier today in favor of Newburgh. This is game 2 and now the deciding game of the sectional number 15 in Indiana. American Legion Baseball. Boonville and Newburgh. The winner goes to Princeton. This year's state championship in Anderson. Right now 5 hits in the ball game, 3 of which belong to Boonville. At the corners for Newburgh. And again, they threaten to tie. And there's that inside corner, Houston. Good location here by Jacob Houston here on the outset, Michael.
Yeah, he's mixing his pitches very well. I'm very impressed by the way he's thinking out there on the mound, Darren. As I said, you know, he looks like he throws okay, but not overly hard. He's doing a great job of mixing his pitches.
2-1, 2-2, down to second. Into second, he got it. That's crossing.
Yeah, that play had maybe some trouble written up for Boonville. It looked like Kirkland, the shortstop, and Hodges, the second baseman, hadn't decided amongst themselves who was going to cover, because Hodges was very late in covering on the play. If he doesn't get over and get that ball, Lutz was throwing through. It goes in the outfield, and at least 1 run scores for Newburgh, and it would have been a gift run.
2-2 pitch. Actually got behind Lutz.
And it's a foul ball, I believe, there. Brian Garland, the home plate umpire, threw his arms up immediately.
Huff did the right thing. You get a charge and come right home.
Yeah, absolutely. Any doubt, you got to try to take advantage of it.
That's a tying run down at third base. Second and third here for Newburgh. 2 down on Houston's side. He's actually 1 strike from getting out of this. Fifth batter at Southworth, and 2-2 will come again. Arterberry on deck. 2-2 Houston. And ripped right there. Pierman. Looked like he had maybe more on it than actually he did. They get out of it anyway. Blackford covering it first. We go to the 4th inning. 1-0 after 3. It is Boonville. The 1994 Sectional Baseball Championship on TV 52.
In a generation that now expects immediate gratification for a current emotion, the human spirit naturally takes the path of least resistance for planning the inevitable. Funeral pre-planning spares your loved ones the emotional and financial decisions that face them at the time of ultimate grief. Boone Funeral Homes urge you to consider the advantages of funeral pre-planning. For more information about our funeral pre-planning options, stop by or call one of the Boone Funeral Homes of Evansville today.
Insurance. It's one part of financial planning. To help accomplish your financial objectives, why not call us now? James Will Insurance. The right combination of protection, value, response, and service. That's our philosophy, and it has been since 1962. James Will Insurance.
Half of the 4th inning, Boonville trying to make believers of us all.
And you know, Darren, Boonville really has played pretty good defense throughout this tournament. Even in that first game when Newburgh was just hitting the heck out of the ball, Boonville still played pretty good defense. And Michael Pierman, the third baseman, has been a big part of that. Nice play to his right to end that last inning and save a couple of runs there for Boonville. And if I'm Boonville, I like the way this is going. You know, especially if I get a couple more runs here. You got to like the way Jacob Houston is throwing. Your defense, which really helped you here late in the season, is playing very well. If you can just start hitting the ball a little bit now, you got a lot of things going for you. And also got to be impressed by the way Boonville's bounced back here, Darren. As I was really wondering how they were going to react, because after really playing without any pressure here late in the year, not many people thinking they were going to win the sectional. A lot of people today were thinking, hey, they finally got a chance to win, and we're taking it pretty seriously. It was interesting. It was just going to be interesting to see how they reacted to that pressure.
Bob Hodges went down 5-3, picked up an RBI back in the first inning. Leads things off here in the top of the 4th. Hodges, Pierman, Kirkland. That's 3-4-5. And he's 1 for 2, Hodges. I mentioned not a bad tournament for this kid at all. Next year, he hopes to be doing that for the Aces. And again, he's 1 for 2 in the 1st and 4th.
And another thing here, Darren, I believe Newburgh has beaten Boonville all 3 times they've played this year. So obviously Boonville wants to win the one it means the most.
Mike Pierman, who ended the first, went down held to Arterberry.
I want to stand corrected on that, Darren. Boonville did beat him yesterday in the winners bracket, so Newburgh has beaten them 3 out of 4 times.
Right. And Joe List even saying in this morning's paper, he goes, if they could win the first game, momentum would be swinging his way. He had a 13-3 lead earlier, and he saw that disappear to 13-9 later on. But as Michael said, Boonville really never threatened after that. 13-9 earlier today, and this is the championship game. Winner goes to Princeton. Hodges on first, and it is 1-1 here to Pierman.
Boy, you look at some of this talent out here, and you got to think Castle should have a good team next year, don't you, Darren?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I think Castle's going to have an outstanding. It's going to be really tightly packed next year, as we were talking about earlier.
Well, I really like, looking ahead to next spring, I really like Castle and Memorial in the Evansville sectional. I think on the West sectional, I think Central's probably the favorite. The Wrights, you can't count them out. They've won it 4 years in a row.
4 straight, yeah.
They've got a good pitcher in Jay Sparks coming back, and I think Mount Vernon will be fairly competitive. They've got a couple of young men, a catcher by the name of Chad Thomas, who I think is absolutely outstanding, and a good young pitcher by the name of Shane Schroeder. So they play for the Evansville Palomino team this spring, and I think that's two kids you definitely want to keep an eye on. They're going to be a nice ball club next year.
Congratulations to Jim Whitman and Evansville. The Evansville Black Sox, by the way, not a bad showing at all this year. One of their bigger wins was one they probably didn't even count on, was one over Newburgh.
That's right, a 10-6 victory. Got a little bit of a break that night. Bennett was away on playing in the North-South football game, and Lonnie Waller, the starting pitcher, I think he's out. Oh!
That was close at first, though. I'm with you. I thought he was out also.
Yeah, Hodges must have just got that right hand back in.
Resume 2-1 here. Mike Pierman.
Benji Garland, the first base umpire, had a real good look at it there. And Newburgh doesn't really argue about it, so Hodges apparently did get the right hand in.
2 balls and a strike here to Mike Pierman. It's Kirkland on deck. And nobody out here in the fourth. Runner goes, hit and run on, and moving over quickly goes Bennett. Not going to get to that one. And a chance here for Hodges. Hodges, who they'll hold at third at the corners for Boonville.
That was an excellent hit and run there, Darren. I think if the runner's not going to second baseman, Wesley Carroll's got a chance maybe to get back and catch that ball. It wasn't hit that deep into the outfield. It would have been a tough play, but he might have had a chance at it. And Bennett was swung over towards left a little bit, so it would have been a tough catch for him no matter what. So now you got runners on first and third, and Boonville with an excellent scoring opportunity. And they need to take advantage of this. I think the way Houston's throwing, we're not going to see a 13-9 game like we did earlier today.
Doesn't appear so, huh? So back-to-back singles, Hodges and Pierman. Hodges 90 feet away, Pierman at first, and Kirkland.
Even if Kirkland hits into a double play here, Darren, it's not a bad play because it'll get the run home. Now, obviously, this is not going to be a double play unless Sean can throw him out the plate, and he's going to have to make a heck of a throw, and it's not even going to be close.
2-0 in favor of Boonville as in comes Hodges. So Boonville still believing.
You know, I wonder if Sean was basically conceding the run there and just throwing the ball back in the second. Nobody cut it off because the throw was nowhere near home plate, and as I said, the ball wasn't cut off. Fortunately for Newburgh, it just kind of rolled through, and the runner at first base, Pierman, didn't try to advance. So Keith Kirkland, who struggled at the plate today, 0 for 6 coming into that at bat, does get the job done there with a sacrifice fly, and that's a big run for Boonville. They now lead 2-0.
But now hitting him 5-2, and yeah, 2-0 in favor of post 200. It has been Newburgh the past 3 years. Nathan Blackford to the shortstop, held back in the second inning. And there's another base hit. It's the third in the inning so far, and it's first and second here for Boonville.
Nathan's had a good day. As we said, he was 2 for 2 with 2 walks in the first inning, now 1 for 2 today. Yeah, he's a guy during his high school season really cooled off towards the end, but here today he has just really smoked the ball. As I said, I don't know if they're throwing him predominantly fastballs or what, or maybe the curveball isn't moving like they want, but Nathan's having a really good day.
Matt Seaby went down 5-3.
Tough play for Southworth.
Soft grounder. Yeah. Southworth does only the thing he can do is go right to first base. Runners are going to move up. That's the second out, second and third here for Boonville.
Well, Tim Bockelman can really give Boonville a lift here. A 4-run lead would be pretty tough. The way that Jacob Houston is throwing. Now Joe List makes his way to the mound there, and he does have somebody warming in the pen. I believe that's Don Shimwell. I'm not positive, but I think that's Don Shimwell, former Harrison pitcher. Will be pitching at USI next year.
Early move here by Joe List. He is going to make the change. B.J. Huff.
I'm sure B.J. will stay in the lineup somewhere. But as we said at the top of the broadcast, BJ's really not a pitcher. It's not his really position of expertise, and he's going to give him a lot of effort out there, and he's going to be an asset to a team no matter where you put him, but it's really not his position of choice. And Shemwell, who came on relief twice yesterday for Newburgh, is going to get the early call here.
We'll take a timeout. Pitching change. Shemwell in for B.J. Huff. In the top half of the fourth inning, Boonville up 2-0. More American Legion baseball tonight's sectional championship on TV 52.
A few years back, Mark Williams came to us to plan for his retirement. Last year, the Crawfords came to us to remodel their home. Last month, Albert Whitaker came to see us for a new tractor wheel. And just last week, Denise Linhart came in for an auto loan. Because we like to take the lead when it comes to helping our customers. After all, isn't that what friends are for? Citizens Bank, leading the way.
The attorneys at Berger & Berger know that after an accident, your name might get on several mailing lists. With so many important decisions to make, it can be tempting to select the first attorney that contacts you. We believe you should choose your attorney, rather than letting an attorney choose you. Remember that Berger & Berger has been representing personal injury cases with experience, integrity, and results since 1946. Berger & Berger, making a world of difference.
Read the rules.
Donnie Shemwell is going to be on the hill here for Newburgh, and I think they're asking for a rake to go ahead and fix the hill to his liking.
Yeah, that was the motion the umpire made when he came out there. So we'll have a little bit of a delay for that. Don's a very talented pitcher, very crafty. I mean, you hear about that old saying, the crafty left-hander, and he pretty much is the definition of a crafty left-hander. 9-4 this year for Harrison. And has continued his good work for Newburgh. Coming out of the bullpen a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Dot even become sort of a relief specialist at USI. You know, when you've got maybe a big hard thrower like a Mike Fetcher or somebody starting the game, and then if he tires late in the game, or I guess Fetcher was a relief pitcher this year, was he? Dan?
Yeah, for the most
You
part,
saw
yeah,
more of the games than I did. I really didn't get a chance to see USI much this year, but if you've got a big hard thrower to start the game, you know, maybe you can bring in a guy like Shemwell, who's a little more of a soft tosser, a lefty, to finish it off. And I know this year at Harrison, Andy Rice really tried to use that combination a few times with Jim Lynch, the hard thrower, starting, and then if he tired late in the game, bringing in Shemwell, who is an obvious contrast, a left-hander with a lot of off-speed stuff.
Well, this gives us a chance, well, for us here at TV 52, this game officially wraps up our 1993-94 sports season. We return in about 3 weeks' time on Wednesday, August 24th for our 5th year's coverage of high school soccer at Koch Soccer Field. E.M. Sable and Associates, Boone Funeral Home, Evansville Sheet Metal, James Will Insurance, Raven Tire, Citizens Bank, Berger & Berger, and Old National Bank have been your super sponsors for 93-94. And simply put, without them, we would not have been here from the beginning of last year's soccer season to the end of this year's American Legion baseball season. We've had a great 93-94. We'll take about 3 weeks off and come back on August 24th to begin our 5th season of covering Evansville and actually the tri-state in local sports. So looking forward for a 5th year, Michael.
Yeah, Darren, I want to thank you and TV 52 for allowing me to sit in with you for a few games here during the high school and American Legion season. It's been
fun.
Enjoyable, very enjoyable, and I think we're all going to have a lot of fun next year, both during football and soccer. It'll be just interesting to see how soccer plays out. You know, now being part of the IHSAA, just you know, they're going to be limited to the amount of games they can play. It's just going to be interesting to see what effect it has on the traditional soccer powers around here. And I think we're going to have a pretty competitive football season again. I always enjoy covering football there because the crowds are big. There's a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And the coaches in that sport in Evansville are probably the most interesting coaches in any other sport. You got a lot of different characters. So,
yeah, you do. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an interesting fall around here.
Well, about 3 weeks' time, we begin our 5th season of same-night coverage of sports here on TV 52. We wrap up our 93-94 season tonight with Boonville and Newburgh, the American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship.
It looks like Don did his job here, Darren.
Just came in for a little bit to do just that, get the job done. Donnie Shemwell in. That into right field, and no problem for Causey. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning on a Sunday night, the championship of American Legion Baseball's Sectional on TV 52.
It's an issue that is mostly spoken in whispers and almost never within the confines of the complete family. Funeral pre-planning. Funeral pre-planning is the considered investment for your loved ones before the moment of ultimate grief. Boone Funeral Homes provide the protection against future financial responsibilities now at unequaled value. It's the investment for your future as well as theirs. For more information about our funeral pre-planning, call one of the Boone Funeral Homes of Evansville today. E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only two things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable & Associates.
We're going to bench you if you don't start catching. I know.
Bottom half of the fourth inning at 2-0 in favor of Boonville, the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. 2-0 Boonville, Michael.
Great job so far by Jacob Houston, the young man from Boonville High School. Well, you can't say enough against a tough hitting lineup like that you have here at Newburgh for a guy to come in and give his team a big lift. You know, because their confidence was probably down a little bit after getting 13 runs in that first game, and Houston's done a great job. And he's got some pretty good defense, especially for Michael Pierman down at third base.
So Boonville probably came in as Cinderella. Is probably a Mount Vernon, who was, as I said earlier, we're not going to win the sectional this year, but Boonville probably was not expected to be here, trying to prove that everybody was wrong. They're about 5 innings away from winning their first sectional championship since 1989, the same year they won the state. Chris Arterbury, Josh Helt, Matt Toon, and then Shemwell will bat ninth. Nice shot into right field. But right there, Chris Weir. Weir really didn't even have to move. We have one away. So one down here in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and here's Josh Helt.
Josh Helt.
Josh flied out the right field himself the first time at this game, Darren. In the first game, Josh went 1 for 6, had a single and scored in the 5th inning, but other than that, only was able to reach base on an error. So Josh didn't enjoy himself quite as much as the rest of his Newburgh teammates did that first game, but he's a good hitter. As we said, with the left-hander on the hill, he drops down the order a little bit from second all the way down to 7th.
2-0 Boonville. Right now they're out hitting them 6-2. And one on the ground is going to sneak in there. Blackford over, couldn't get it. It's a one-out single for Josh Helt.
That's going to bring up Matt Toon, a guy who's really come on here at the end of the season, Darren, as we've talked about a little bit. Here's a guy that really didn't have a very good season hitting-wise for Castle, but he's really a blossom here in the last month for Joe Liss and the Newburgh Legion team. For part of the year, he was kind of alternate a little bit with Carl Smith, a former Harrison catcher. Bad really kind of took control the last couple of weeks and won himself a starting position, and he has started from then on out.
Swings and misses. And there's strike one to Matt Toon.
Go the other way now.
Shemwell and Bennett. Toon, base hit. Ware in from right field. Here comes Newburgh, and going to take a shot at third base. Josh Helt on his way. Yes, sir.
Boonville didn't cut the throw off there, Darren. The runner, Toon, is able to go down to second as well. So now they've got 2 runners in scoring position. The play was a little kind of screwy from the outset. The runner Helt stopped around second base, even though the third base coach, excuse me, Jim Lynch, not Jim Lynch, Jim Liss, excuse me, was signaling to come over there. And Josh slowed down, and he really wasn't a very close play still, but because Boonville did not cut the ball off, the hitter, Toon, was able to go down to second base. So Don Shemwell, not really known as a great hitter, could help himself out quite a bit here.
Donnie Shemwell takes the first one. Not bad. Gonna score the first. Shemwell gone at first base. For the first in for Newburgh. Cut the lead in half now, 2-1 all of a sudden.
Great play by Keith Kirkland, the shortstop there, to go well to the hole, set his plant his back foot and make a good throw to get Shumwell. But Shumwell does get an RBI, and he also moves the runner over to third base. And now with just one out, Sean Bennett's got a great opportunity to tie this game for Newburgh. Or excuse me, with 2 outs, but still a great opportunity for Bennett now to drive the run home. So Shumwell, not a great hitter. That's really a bonus for Newburgh.
Well, here is a great hitter. He's 1 for 2.
Sorry about that, Darren. I looked up at the scoreboard and I hadn't put up the second out yet, and I was confused for a minute.
You confused? Well,
yes.
Everything's going to happen once.
Can't
right?
believe it, huh? Can't believe it.
Fifth batter here, the inning facing Houston. It's been Newburgh so far. Tying run, 90 feet away, missing on the outside, and 1-1 here to Sean Bennett. You're talking about Jim Lynch, and I was saying, is he back down from A ball already? He's off to a 4-0 start, by the way.
I bet Newburgh wishes they would have had him this year. They would have been pretty tough with him.
1-1 pitch. Right there is Hodges.
Well, that's a big out right there. Get a quality hitter like Bennett and keep him from driving in that tying run.
We have played 4 complete in a 2-1 ball game at the 1994 Sectional Championship of American Legion Baseball on TV 52.
Here's something we think is worth thinking about. Insurance. It's like your job. You've got to have it. James Will Insurance. To many business people, risk management is a mysterious concept. To us, it's another way to make your business insurance dollars work harder. James Will Insurance.
Evansville Sheet Metal, working with business and industry since 1946, offers a variety of services, including metal sales, fabrication of custom equipment, prototypes, and experimental projects. They're involved in manufacturing, short-run production, tooling, and on-site installation and repair service. They maintain the most up-to-date technology to support a complete CNC department, as well as multi-axis press brakes, MIG and TIG certified welders, and a large fleet of trucks. Evansville Sheet Metal Works, committed to excellence and to doing it right the first time.
With Michael Pointer, I'm Darren Smith back out of the USI Baseball Complex. Top half of the 5th inning and 2-1 in favor of Boonville. Michael?
Yeah, John Lutz will be up here, sacrificed his first time up. And John, he helped out defensively as well there in that, back in the 3rd inning. Newburgh had runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And Sean Bennett, a very good base runner on at 3rd base. And there was a hard bouncer hit by excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong scoreboard there.
That twice confused in one game, folks.
It's been a long day. You got to remember, folks, we were out here for the first one. A hard grounder was hit by Dwayne Causey, the 3rd baseman, and Lutz did a pretty good job of blocking a plate against a bigger and stronger Bennett.
Got him by a step and a half. Down goes Lutz. We have 1 down here in the top half of the 5th inning.
And now the guy that really has to jumpstart this offense, his role for Boonville is very similar to what Sean Bennett has for Newburgh. Chris Ware, he's got to really, really get this going.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Michael. It's been a long day.
There were some good leadoff hitters in Legion this year, Darren. You had this guy here for Boonville. We mentioned Sean Bennett at Newburgh, and Kyle Niemeyer, pretty fair leadoff hitter himself over at Funkhauser. So definitely a good year for leadoff hitters in the Legion area.
Nothing in 2 here to Chris Weir.
But you mentioned it's a long day, but I appreciate these guys picking up the pace of the game so I can make my 8 o'clock dinner reservation on the east side.
That's very nice of them.
That was. I was getting a little worried there after
Kind of sound like Jack Buck there now. You're bringing up the late dinner reservation.
That's right. You know, if you're going to be in the big time, Darren, you got to have a place to go out to eat after the game.
I wouldn't know, so I'm still trying to get there.
Oh, come on now. You're a legend in this town.
Right.
I hear more people talk about you than anybody else.
And I wish it was all good. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Weir.
Just remember that old political saying, Darren. Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Sometimes. Donnie Shemwell in his first full inning here will pitch right here for USI next year. Inside pitch is going to be taken upstairs, and Sean Bennett in center field. We have 2 away.
Well, it looks like the way Dowd's throwing, Boonville's not going to get many more runs, so the onus is really going to be on Jacob Houston to really shut down Newburgh, and boy, that's going to be a tough thing to do with their lineup to shut them down here the rest of the game. Boonville now holding a 2-1 lead, 2 out here top of the 5th. So Newburgh's going to have plenty more cracks at him.
Jacob Houston in And in foul grounds, Clark thinking he has a shot at this one. Clark way over to make the play.
He snow-coned it, but still an excellent play by John there. Looked like there was a little patch of AstroTurf there next to the batting cage, and he tripped over that, but a nice catch. And Schimel has set down all 4 batters now since he came in the top of the 4th.
Take a bow, John Clark. In left field, has it in foul territory. That's the way it goes in the top half of the 5th. It's 2-1 Boonville, the 1994 sectional championship on TV 52.
A few years back, Mark Williams came to us to plan for his retirement. Last year, the Crawfords came to us to remodel their home. Last month, Albert Whitaker came to see us for a new tractor wheel. And just last week, Denise Linhart came in for an auto loan. Because we like to take the lead when it comes to helping our customers. After all, isn't that what friends are for? Citizens Bank, leading the way.
The Tri-State rides on Raven.
Raven is where the Tri-State goes for quality tires and friendly service. Raven has the Goodyear tire for you, for your family car, or your pickup truck. Raven is the Tri-State service leader, and our certified technicians can do everything from brakes to computerized alignments with a nationwide guarantee.
The Tri-State rides on Raven. Raven tire.
Back out at USI. Here we are. Bottom half of the 5th inning. And 2-1 score. 10 hits in the ball game. 6 belong to Boonville.
And John Clark, who just
How
made
many times do you see it?
I hate that cliche, Darren.
I know. It just happens so often.
I want somebody to sit down for a year and follow Major League Baseball and to figure out exactly how many times that happens.
It happens a lot. It happens about once every couple of days in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
And we've got, what, a little less than 2 weeks left of Major League
I've
Baseball.
heard Mike Shannon on Cardinal broadcast say that since I was a little kid. That every time he says it, I want to scream.
Well, thanks for not screaming.
Yeah,
here.
nothing against Mike, but the saying's getting a little old.
2-1 here to John Clark. B.J. Huff to Wayne Causey, 2-3-4 here for Newburgh. And they have a shot pulling a couple over. Ware from right field, right there, Tim Bockelman. You know, by the time the state baseball championship happens for American Legion baseball, that may be the only baseball, other than, I guess, some of the minor leagues you'll be seeing.
Yeah,
huh? Great
point, Darren. That's right. August 12th being the strike date. And I've followed it pretty closely. I just don't see any way there's not going to be a strike. I might be wrong, but boy, it would really shock me. By the way, if anybody wants to get some pretty good background on the background information on a strike, I'd recommend a book that came out this spring called Lords of the Realm by John Hellier, a former, I believe he still is a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Just an excellent history of baseball's labor problems, you know, over the past 20, 25 years, even going back into the 40s when they first tried to start a players union. It's just a fascinating book, and it'll give you a lot more insight into what's going on now. And knowing what I know from that, what I see going on now, I just don't see any way there won't be a strike.
Two balls and a strike here.
Also want to mention there, Darren, my colleague at the Courier, Gordon Engelhardt, will be covering the Legion tournament from here on out. As long as there's a local team in it, he'll be in Princeton, he'll be in Anderson, he'll go on to Peoria, Illinois for the regional if it goes that far.
Send in Gordo, huh?
Gordo is Mr. Legion at this time of the year, so if you want to get some good Legion information, he's your man in the Courier.
Good boy.
2-2.
BJ, start us off now.
Well, this is the way you want to pitch to B.J. Huff with nobody on base, Darren.
Backing up here is Seavey. Seavey, a little ways to go here. Almost back to a warning track. Just another long out. Huff, that had a shot about 350. And we have two away.
Well, you know, in Bossy Field, which is a pretty tough hitter's park, that ball might have had a chance because down the line the ball carries a little bit, and it's only about 315 down the line. Here at USI, 355. You know, that ball's just a long out, as you said, Darren. A nice play by Seavey to get under it. Boy, BJ really hit that ball way up in the air. That was a major league fly ball.
Dwayne Causey. Houston trying to sit him down in order. Has a 2-1 lead right now. There's still a little bit of problems back in the fourth. Faced those 5 batters, and 1 scored, 1 left third.
Can't say enough for the job he's done so far, Darren. Just a tremendous job out of young man.
Down the inside, and the count 1-1. Houston Solution. It's an old country song, I think, Mike.
Is it? I did not know that.
Houston Solution, yeah. Back out is Ware. 1 to center, 1 to left, and 1 to right. They go in order, and we have played 5 at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
Oh, no. Gucci, Gucci, goo for the 8th time. Come on, guys. Get serious. I got plans. College, career.
Cool it, kiddo. They have Old National helping you with a wide range of investment options and professional advice, so your college is set. Shows you what 160 years of experience can do.
College is set?
Hey, kid, life can be fun at your bank for life. Old National.
I'm so happy, I could cry.
Checkmate. Set him up again, shrimp.
Let me show you something.
I'll go first.
Whether you're trying to beat your big brother
Checkmate.
or have your legal rights represented, it's best to have experience on your side. Burger & Burger, making a world of difference.
Of course, he's making about 70 a year.
Leading off for Boonville.
Back out at USI in the top half of the 6th inning. We've got it 2-1 in favor of Boonville here, Michael.
Bob Hodges, Michael Pierman, Keith Kirkland coming up, the 3, 4, and 5 men for Boonville. Bobby 1 for 2 today, scored a run, also driven in a run, so he's figured in prominently in both of Boonville's runs. And Boonville desperately needs some insurance here, but as I said, the way Don Shumlow's throwing and the way Jacob Houston is throwing for Boonville, for that matter, Darren, I think we're going to have a low-scoring game, very much in contrast to the first game we saw here this afternoon.
Chop right here, Andy Southworth, 1 away. He is such a good defensive player, isn't he?
Yeah, I really like him, Darren. Going to be an outstanding player next year for Castle. That ball took kind of a funny hop. The infield seems to be a little rough out here at USI today. We saw a couple of really bad hops in the first game, and that time the ball came up on Andy. He stayed with it, and once he did that, it was kind of a routine play.
So we have 1 away.
And here's a guy who's played well defensively, too. Another good defensive third base, Michael Pierman. What's up with Castle here? They're going to have to make a decision next year. I believe Pierman's returning for them next year. They're going to have to make a decision where to put all these guys. But we're going to put the onus in. It looks like Chuck Hawkins is not going to be returning as the coach. No action yet by the school board out there, but his dismissal has been recommended by the principals, and usually that means the coach will be leaving. And so whoever is the new coach out there, really going to have the onus on them next year, Darren, because I think they've got a lot of talent.
Any guesses who that might be?
You know, I really haven't heard very much, to be honest with you.
There's a base hit and maybe extra bases with this kind of speed. Pierman at second base, and that's a 1-out double. Boonville looking for some insurance here. 1-out double with Hodges gone, Pierman on him, bringing up Kirkland.
Yeah, Kirkland 0 for 6 on the day, but he did break through with a sacrifice fly his last time up, and he's got a chance here to get a low base hit. Will probably score Pierman.
So Kirkland, sacrifice, RBI back in the 4th. Gonna try to get on base.
Good pitch.
He's not done that in 7 times now.
Good pitch by down there. That's a tough, when you keep the ball low and in like that, it's tough to hit, especially for a right-handed hitter.
0-1 pitch, get out of the way. Almost got him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blackford on deck, Seaby, Bockelman, Lutz. Working our way down the Boonville 9 a 3rd time. Down by a couple down at second is Pierman. 1-1 pitch. Chopper again foul. And 1-2 the count. Again, Kirkland trying to get on a first time in, well, 7 tries today. Although he's not 0 for 7, rather 0 for 6.
I think another run would really be big in this game, the way the 2 pitchers are throwing, Darren.
That's got a shot, but overcoming quickly is Clark. Another one for John Clark. Made that great catch to end the top half of the 5th inning. Comes down on the knees to hold on for that one, and we have 2 away.
Yeah, John runs pretty well, Darren. He did a good job of closing on that ball. Really closed a lot of ground there at the last second. And now another guy who can hit a little bit, Nathan Blackford, really hitting the ball well today. He needs to come through with the 2-out hit for Boonville. As I said, I think this would be a huge run just because of the way the 2 pitchers are throwing right now.
Well, look at Blackford today. He's just had a great day at the plate. He walked the first 3 times early this afternoon. He had a single and a double in the 6th and 8th innings of that second game, and got on his last time. A little bobble there, and may get on again. He will.
Yeah, that'll be an error on Josh Hilt. They would have had him easily if Josh comes up with that ball. I was just about to say, Darren, I would imagine that Blackford has a tough time with a pitcher like Shenwell, who relies so much on his curveball. And he didn't hit that ball very hard, but Hilt just wasn't able to come up with it. An error on Josh. Might have been bothered by the runner going from second a little bit, but still, I'm sure Josh would agree he should have had that ball. Let's see if Matt Seaby can make Newburgh pay for that mistake.
1 more, baby.
2-1 ball game, trying to add to that. Yep, 1st and 3rd here for Boonville, and here's Seaby. Seaby, twice he went down. Southworth to Arterbury. Bachlam and Lutz to follow Seaby, but 2 down here for Donnie Shemwell. Pierman is 90 feet away on the inside. Letter high that time and a 1-1 count. Boonville lost the first game earlier this afternoon, 13-9. Their mission was just to win 1 on this day. Right now they're up 2-1 on 3-time defending sectional champion Newburgh Capperman. 2-1 the count.
With a guy like Blackford, probably no chance of him running here, Darren, unless the count goes full, obviously.
Down now 3-1. Shemwell going to try to bring it full. With 2 away, one that has to be there again for Shemwell is not. The bases are loaded.
This is a big, big time in this game. Tim Bachman a chance to put a real hurt on Newburgh right here. And this is one of these times of the game when you look back at the end and say maybe that's a point where the game was decided. If Bachman gets a hit here, Boonville goes up by 3. They're in great shape. If Shemwell can get him out here, Newburgh gets a real big pick-me-up. And Tim's going to have a tough time here being a left-hand hitter facing a crafty left-hander in Shemwell. And it looks like Shemwell did his job.
Going to get out of it in time. Yes. Boy, was that close at first.
Tim got out of the box awfully well. When Huff fouled it, I thought he might have a chance, but BJ stayed with it and got the big out.
They leave him loaded. You're watching the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship, Boonville and Newburgh on TV 52.
E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only 2 things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable & Associates. In a generation that now expects immediate gratification for a current emotion, the human spirit naturally takes the path of least resistance for planning the inevitable. Funeral pre-planning spares your loved ones the emotional and financial decisions that face them at the time of ultimate grief. Boone Funeral Homes urge you to consider the advantages of funeral pre-planning. For more information about our funeral pre-planning options, stop by or call one of the Boone Funeral Homes of Evansville today.
I'm Darren Smith with Michael Pointer back out at USI at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship between Boonville and Newburgh in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Boonville up by a score of 2-1.
Andy Southworth leading off here so far here in the second game. Andy 0 for 2, popped out the first with 2 runners. Popped out the short with 2 runners on in the first. And then grounded out the third. Grounded out the third in the third. So Andy's in it. He's made the final out in 2 innings here. Now gets a chance to lead off. Makes a ball to start it off from Jacob Houston.
Houston comes back, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hey, great outing so far for Houston. 1 gets across in the 5 innings so far.
Only 4 hits through 5 innings against this Newburgh bunch with their powerful lineup. That's pretty good. As we said, looking at this team, Darren, the lineup is really not a question for Newburgh. It's whether they've got the depth in their pitching staff. Now they've got kind of their ace on the mound, Don Shumwell, so maybe that depth isn't so much a concern, but a great job here by Jacob Houston, only holding them to 4 hits after I believe they had 18 in the first game.
2 strikeouts for Houston, both coming in the second inning. Had Toon, and at that time had Wes Carroll. Goes right to Pierman. And just like that, we have one away.
Now Chris Arterberry will be coming up here. Chris 1 for 2. They walked in the second and stole a base, then flied out to right in the 4th. So he had a pretty good day in that first game as well. So he'll see if he can get started here for Newburgh. Might be tough for Chris here, too, facing a left-hander.
Arterberry stole a base. Reached third on a wild pitch after his single back in the second inning. Out to right field, and Chris Weir back in the 4th. Held to Toon, and then Donnie Shumwell picked himself up an RBI back in the 4th inning. In between 2, Blackford came over, so did Hodges, and Arterberry is on for a second time.
Yeah, Arterberry did a great job of placing that ball. Just a little bouncer, but perfectly placed between the second baseman Hodges and the first baseman Blackford. So Newburgh gets their 5th hit of the game, and now Josh Helt is up, and he is 1 for 2, and he has scored Newburgh's only run scored on Shumwell's ground out back in the 4th.
Josh!
So Josh Helt 1 for 2.
Hey, Josh! Come on, baby!
Toon 1 for 2, and then Shumwell, like I said, had an RBI his first at bat in the 4th inning. 7-8-9, that's the way it goes for Newburgh. 1 down, chance to get a double play ball. Matter of fact, in this long day of baseball, we've seen a lot. We have not seen a double play.
Well, Josh can run a little bit, and a good bunt. The only play he'll have is at first.
And they got him. Nice speed there by Helt, too.
Josh will probably be awarded a sacrifice on that, but I don't think he was bunting just to move the runner along because there's now 2 outs. He was definitely bunting for a hit. Even though he gets a high five from a couple of his teammates for moving the runner along, I think Josh is a little upset. I think he really wanted the base hit there.
That's the tying run, though, down at second base, and that again is Chris Arterberry. 2 down for Houston. And here is Matt Toon. Nice single back in the 4th inning, struck out in the 2nd.
Matt's been swinging a hot bat, and boy, Newburgh needs it right here. Now, this will be interesting right here to see how Boonville pitches to him, Darren, because he does have a pretty hot bat, and the pitcher Shumwell is on deck, and you got a base open. So I wouldn't be surprised if they fall behind here. They might just go ahead and walk him. But, of course, if Houston keeps throwing pitches like that, I don't know if Matt can hit him anyway. That'd be tough for any hitter to hit. That was an excellent pitch.
Yeah, he struck him out in the 2nd. It was Toon and then Carroll.
Yeah, Matt 0 for 1 in this game. Reached on a... 1 for 2. Did have a base hit back in the 4th. And as you said, Darren struck out in the 2nd. So big point in this ball game right here.
Looking back, 0-1 here is the count to Toon.
And when you get in a 1 run like this late in a championship game, they're all pretty big.
We're waiting 0-1 here to Matt Toon. And it could be a little tricky. 2 come together again, Bockelman, but that is Chris Weir in right field. And now we have played 6 complete at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. 2-1 in favor of Boonville. And back out to USI on TV 52.
Evansville Sheet Metal, working with business and industry since 1946, offers a variety of services, including metal sales, fabrication of custom equipment, prototypes, and experimental projects. They're involved in manufacturing, short-run production, tooling, and on-site installation and repair service. They maintain the most up-to-date technology to support a complete CNC department, as well as multi-axis press brakes, MIG and TIG certified welders, and a large fleet of trucks. Evansville Sheet Metal Works, committed to excellence and to doing it right the first time.
There's a notion going around that in business today, the only thing that matters is price. We think service is equally important. James Will Insurance. Writing property and casualty insurance for your business is only a part of what our business is all about. James Will Insurance.
Well, earlier today, 22 runs and 33 hits. 13-9 in Newburgh, forcing this final and deciding game. Here we are a game later, only 6 innings in the book. 3 runs on the board, 2-1 Boonville, and just 12 hits.
Yeah, and I think, Darren, our viewers who are up late on a Sunday night watching this game appreciate the fact that it's moving quite along here, because it could be a long Could make for a long night and early morning if we would have been showing that game earlier today, which took forever.
Yeah, 3 hours, 5 minutes, the earlier game. Played out here earlier this afternoon at USI. So now tonight you watch the championship game with the winner going to Princeton. 2-1 in favor of Boonville. We begin here the 7th inning. It's John Lutz. Strike one.
John 0 for 1 with a sacrifice back in the 3rd inning. Made a key defensive play in this game when he made the tag on Sean Bennett at the plate. So he's contributed.
Schemmel has faced everybody now, works his way around the 2nd time. Go back on top to Weir, and then Jacob Houston. Swings and misses, and 1-2 the count.
But Darren, at least we're getting a well-played championship game. It looks like it's going to go right down the wire. And as a fan, you can't really ask for much more than that. 2 good teams that are battling it out. So it looks like we're going to have a championship game maybe to remember here.
John Clark has had a good game. Comes in from left field. And we have one away.
Good lesson there for some young outfielders there. And John Clark, his first step was back. It's much easier to make an adjustment coming in on the ball instead of going back. And once he saw the ball was well in front of him, you know, he easily ran in and made the catch. So it's always best if you're going to take that first step, take it back, because it's a lot easier to come in and go back on a ball.
One down, here's Chris Weir. Doubles and scores back in the 1st. Line to the center fielder, Bennett coming on to get that one. And then took another one to Bennett in the 5th. So 1 for 3 for Chris Weir, and Jacob Houston is on deck. And there's another base hit into right field. Causey comes on. That's a 1-out single, and Weir's on a 2nd time today, and now an early 2 for 4.
Definite threat to run here, too, Darren. Wouldn't be surprised to see Chris try to steal a base at all. If he can get a good read on Schemmel. Schemmel's very tough to run against. As we said, though, Chris was 2nd in the SIAC this year in stolen bases behind Sean Bennett.
So watch Weir. He moves out by a couple over at 1st. And here's Houston. Houston, who grounds out to the 2nd baseman. Singled. That was the time Baltimore was thrown out at the plate. Then again took a shot to John Clark. Foul, actually. Clark had to move for that one in left field and foul grounds just to hold on. He's 1 for 3. Back over at 1st. Check back Chris Weir. Probably not the first time Schemmel will go. He'll go back there again probably. Hodges on deck. Wear out by 4.
Chris could steal a base. Really would change the complexion of this inning with the good hitters Boonville has coming up, but that should be a 2nd out.
Yeah, John Clark has made some great catches today. Those just routine for him. We have 2 away. So that again will bring up Bob Hodges.
John's had a good day in left field, and if I'm Boonville here, I really would try to find a way to get Weir in a scoring position and try to steal this base. Awfully good hitter, and Hodges, a right-handed hitter facing a left-hander in Schemmel, so maybe a little bit of an advantage for Bobby. I really think it's imperative to see if Weir can get down there to 2nd base.
Good, Johnny.
Here is ball 1 here to Bob Hodges. Hodges singles and scores back in the 4th inning. Picked up an RBI in the 1st, bringing in Chris Weir. He went down 5-3 in the 6th. 2 down here, top half of the 7th inning. If you're joining us late on this Sunday night, Boonville and Newburgh for the 94 sectional championship. Winner going to Princeton. Boonville up right now 2-1. 13 hits in the game, 8 belong to Boonville. Weir out by 4 over at 1st. Mike Pierman's on deck. And one they're going to have to reach for. Josh Hell trying to get the force. Not going to get him. 1st and 2nd. That's a nice effort by Josh. And the only shot he really did have was go ahead and take a shot going down at 2nd base.
Yeah, you're right there. And good job by Josh going in and knock that ball out of the hole. But any chance they had all with the 2nd with Weir running, that was just a tough play. So now Michael Pierman, who's done it with the glove today and with the bat in this game. He's got 2 hits, including a double back in the 6th inning. He's got a chance to get the big 2-out hit to give Boonville a pick-me-up. And I would imagine just about anything, almost anything, into the outfield will score Chris Weir. He's got good speed, as we said. And he'll be running on contact here with 2 outs. And it looks like Newburgh might have just got out of the inning.
Just like that. That's Arterberry over in foul grounds. They'll leave a couple. Boonville leaving a couple more. They left the bases loaded earlier tonight. And they take a 2-1 lead into the bottom half of the 7th inning. You're watching the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
Raven is where the Tri-State goes for quality tires and friendly service. Raven has the Goodyear tire for you, for your family car, or your pickup truck. Raven is the Tri-State service leader, and our certified technicians can do everything from brakes to computerized alignments with a nationwide guarantee.
The Tri-State rides on Raven. Raven Tire.
A few years back, Mark Williams came to us to plan for his retirement. Last year, the Crawfords came to us to remodel their home. Last month, Albert Whitaker came to see us for a new tractor wheel. And just last week, Denise Linhart came in for an auto loan. Because we like to take the lead when it comes to helping our customers. After all, isn't that what friends are for? Citizens Bank, leading the way.
Hey, Donnie! Come on, Donnie!
I'm Darren Smith with Michael Pointer back out at USI's baseball complex. 2-1 in favor of Boonville, bottom half of the 7th inning. Donnie Shemwelder back on top, Bennett and Clark. So a 9-1-2 here for Newburgh. Camperman trying to win their 4th straight Evansville American Legion baseball sectional.
A nice little break here for Boonville, having Shemwell lead off instead of Bennett. Not quite the hitter some of his teammates are. And that's basically, you get that good out there. So now you get back to the top of the order. You have one out, you have nobody on. A much better situation here for Boonville.
Sean Bennett lined actually to the shortstop, Helt, in the 4th inning. Singled, stole a base back in the 3rd. And he went down Southworth to Arterbury, 5-3 to begin the game.
Boonville 8 outs away from that sectional title, Darren, and I know it's going to be 8 tough outs, and there's probably some nail biting going along in that Boonville bench right about now. But boy, this kid Jacob Houston giving him a tremendous boost, and that's a nice pitch there to start him off with Bennett.
Well, Boonville won the sectional championship, as I said, back in 1989. That was their last. Same year they won the state, 5 years ago. First year head coach Dave Sensenbrenner, after Brian Keister moved on to Evansville Pate.
It'd be a great accomplishment for Dave to get a sectional title his first year, and they're also a great accomplishment for this program. The way the boundaries are drawn up now, I really don't think they have a chance to get quite as many good players as some of the other programs. They get part of Castle, and they get all of Boonville, but Boonville's been struggling a little bit in their baseball program recently, and they also get Tecumseh, a smaller school, which just doesn't produce as many good players. So I think this would be a real compliment to these kids if they could pull this out. It'd be a great win for Boonville, great for their program.
Right now, 2-1. Yeah, a little ways to go, though. Bottom half of the 7th, scheduled to go 9.
And also, they don't draw from any of the city schools, too. I think that hurts them a little bit as well in their Legion program, Darren.
Bennett didn't think so. I think I agree with Sean on that one. 1-2.
I think that pitch was well outside.
Clark on deck. There's one away here in the 7th. 1-2 to Sean Bennett. Bennett takes a nice one between left and center field. Double coming between. They're not going to get it. Bachman will play it off the fence.
Sean goes for 3 here, Darren.
He should, and he should have it. No problem for Bennett.
Well, when you got speed like that, that just shows what speed will do for you right there. Most kids would have been content to stop at second, but Sean, with that great speed, moves into third with only 1 out. And boy, now the tying run just 90 feet away, and John Clark has a great chance to get it done. So far in this game, John is 0 for 3. Popped out the 2nd and the 1st, grounded out the 1st and the 3rd, flied out the center, back in the 5th. And with Sean's speed, it'll take a lot of different things will score. And now Dave Sensenbrenner out to the mound to talk to his infield. I'm sure they're discussing what their options are in this play. Earlier, Sean was thrown out and the ball hit to the 3rd baseman. I was really surprised they were able to get him just because Sean has such great speed, but Boonville executed the play perfectly. My guess is here, Darren, if it's hit to the corners, they'll try to get him at home. If it's hit to second or short, they may have to be content with taking the out here. I would not play the infield too far in, because if Clark gets a hit with B.J. Huff and some of these other guys coming up, you're really asking for a big inning. So let's see what they do here. Shows what I know. It looks like they're going to play the infield in.
Yep.
Hodges is in at second. They're in at 3rd, 2nd, and short. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Halfway at short.
There is ball 1 to Clark.
So they're going to try to cut this runner down.
90 feet away, the tying run, Sean Bennett. 1 down here, Huff on deck. And 1 off his foot, that hurt.
Jacob Houston really needs to strike out now. And maybe this isn't a bad play by Dave Sensenbrenner. Jacob, a left-handed pitcher, a left-handed hitter in Clark. So you would figure Jacob might have a little bit of an advantage here, especially a crafty left-hander like him. You know, a guy doesn't throw overly hard but mixes his pitches a little bit. Boy, that's a nice pitch right there. As we said, this would be the perfect time to rear back and get a strikeout for him.
Looking for his first since he struck out Wes Carroll back in the second inning.
Yeah, exactly. It would only be his third of the game, so it's been a while since he's had a strikeout. If he was going to place one, he couldn't do much better than this.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Looking for the K, plays it on the outside, a bit high, 2-2.
And look who's on deck as well. Perhaps
B.J. Huff.
The best hitter for the Newburgh team, B.J. Huff. So a strikeout would be crucial. I'll tell you the truth there, I wouldn't even be surprised if they got the out here if they walked Huff.
Right here, and they'll take a look at Bennett while Blackford tags first. That works just as good, Michael, as a strikeout.
It sure does. It sure does. And give Dave Sensenbrenner some credit. He played the infield in. And it paid off for him again. He's really pulled the right strings this game. It looks like that's going to be all for Jacob Houston. He's going to bring in the right-hander to pitch to Huff. And what a great job this kid did. Boy, the Boonville fans stand and give him a round of applause, and he deserves it. What a job in a big game atmosphere to shut down a lineup like this. Tremendous job by the left-hander from Boonville.
Jacob Houston has a seat in a well-deserved hand for Jacob. We'll take a timeout here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Again, Newburgh threatening, trying to tie it up at 2. For the moment, 2-1 Boonville, the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
An injury can mean the loss of activities you enjoy. The attorneys at Berger & Berger understand how an injury can change your life. For over 40 years, they have provided professional representation to those with personal injury or wrongful death claims. Services will be provided to you at no cost until your case is resolved. Berger & Berger, making a world of difference.
I got it. I got the car. I got the convertible. Isn't it great? I can't believe it. I got the loan. I got the bank. I got the...
The way some people react to their first new car, you'd think they'd gotten a medal for growing up.
You got to hear the stereo.
But with 160 years of lending experience, we don't think of your first new car as a medal. Nah, it's more like a trophy.
You earned it. I did, didn't I? And it's also got the power windows and the power locks and the move...
Hey, life can be fun. At your bank for life, Old National.
Well, Bob Hodges moves up from second base. Sean Burns enters the game, will play second. Nice hand for Jacob Houston as he left. But Hodges is your new pitcher here, and he faces one of the best in American Legion Baseball in this area, in B.J. Huff.
Yeah, you're right, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. As we said, Bob can do a little bit of everything, and as you see him there warming up, he comes in the sidearm a little bit, and he's got his work cut out for him. This is a battle of 2 great players right here, Bob Hodges and B.J. Huff, and BJ's been through a lot of things with this Newburgh American Legion team the last 3 years, and you know he'd dearly love to keep the tradition alive and get a base hit here.
So now you're thinking maybe pitch to Huff, but don't give him too much. He has walked twice, by the way. But then Causey has hit the ball well. He was hit by a pitch in the first and went down on the fielder's choice, took one to right field in the 5th. Earlier, Causey 3 for 6, but I say you don't give Huff too much to hit. It doesn't hurt if you walk him.
I would suspect that might be the case. Just to underline the job that Jacob Houston did there. And here in 6 2/3 innings, gave up only 1 run. It was earned. Struck out 2, walked 2. His defense did a good job behind him. He is responsible for Sean Bennett on third base. He can be the winner in this game. He cannot be the loser.
So the bottom half of the 7th, and like Michael said, what probably a sectional championship should be. 2-1 right down to the wire for the moment. Bottom half of the 7th inning. 90 feet away is Bennett. Winner goes to Princeton. A regional and right to the state championship in Anderson.
I said, give Dave Sensenbrenner a lot of credit for pulling the right strings. He's pulled his infield in a couple times when I thought maybe he might leave him back. And one time they cut down Bennett at the plate, and this time they held him at third. He's 1 out away from getting out of this jam now and brings in Hodges, who comes sidearm, and B.J. made him pay.
B.J. in the left field, and we are tied at 2. B.J. Huff.
And there wasn't much question about it there. At first pitch, Bob tried to come sidearm at 3/4 a little bit. And looked like maybe he was trying to pitch him inside a little, but B.J. got his arms out enough, and he ripped it. He looked like he was right on that pitch. And I'm mildly surprised they tried to pitch to him there. I think you made a great point. I thought they might put him on, even though it would have put the go-ahead run on base. But a quality hitter like that, hitting well over 400, to me, you just don't mess with it.
Yeah, and Huff's a threat to go here. Huff's already stole a base back in the 3rd inning. So the RBI single and a game tied at 2. Here's Dwayne Causey. Huff wastes no time. Let's try to get Huff anyway. Down at 2nd, and he is gone. But he did the damage. He tied this game at 2, and a triple by Sean Bennett highlights the bottom half of the 7th inning. 7 complete. 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship on TV 52.
It's an issue that is mostly spoken in whispers and almost never within the confines of the complete family. Funeral pre-planning. Funeral pre-planning is the considered investment for your loved ones before the moment of ultimate grief. Boone Funeral Homes provide the protection against future financial responsibilities now at unequaled value. It's the investment for your future as well as theirs. For more information about our funeral pre-planning, call one of the Boone Funeral Homes of Evansville today. E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only 2 things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable & Associates.
Careful. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Now this game is tied up at 2.
Yeah, I do.
Top half of the 8th inning. Boonville and Newburgh for the sectional championship. Michael?
Well, Newburgh has really got to be feeling good now, I'd say, about their chances. First of all, they got Jacob Houston out of the game. He wasn't kept in at any other position. So as well as Jacob throwing through in this game, he's done. He can't play anymore. As some of the viewers may know, in American Legion Baseball, it's the National League rules. You do not re-enter. There's no re-entry rule like in high school. So he's done. He's out of the game. Also, you got Don Schimmel, your best pitcher, who seems to be throwing very, very well now. If I'm Newburgh, an experienced team, I really like my chances right now in this game.
Strike 1 here to Keith Kirkland. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Kirkland, Blackford, Seavey, Bockelman, Lutz. Down the 9 4 times here for Boonville. Game tied up at 2.
In the 2 games, Keith's had kind of a tough day, 0 for 7. Does have the 1 sacrifice fly back in the 4th, but really, really having a tough time right now. And maybe we should talk about him some more, Darren. There's a base hit.
Well, Kirkland, boy, he tried awful hard to get on all day. And 9th time's the charm. He's on.
Sure is, and he runs a little bit. And now you have Nathan Blackford. As I said, you'd think this might be a guy that Nathan might struggle against just because Don does throw a lot of curveballs. But so far, Nathan's swinging the bat so well today. Maybe he can hit just about anybody. Let's see what he does here. Now let's see if Kirkland tries to steal a base. Nathan got, even in this big ballpark, Nathan got a chance to take it long there. And I saw him on Thursday against Funkhauser hit one right off the top of the fence at almost dead center field. It missed a home run by about 1.5 feet. And he's running.
Yep,
I'll be darned.
Look at that. And their only option is to get Blackford, and they will.
Uh-oh.
May got 2 out of that, but they didn't.
Yeah,
almost.
The first baseman, Arterberry, was a little hesitant to throw the ball down to second. The second baseman, Huff, was back in behind the play. It looked like they might have got him. And also, on the other hand, I'm sure the runner down there, Kirkland, was thinking about going to third base because third base was pretty wide open. I think he was thinking seriously about trying to go for third, and that's why he was so far around second. Boy, now that would have been an exciting play there, Darren. It would have been a big play, too, because now being on third with less than 1 out would have given Boonville a huge advantage. Good bunt there by Nathan, by the way.
They've been aggressive on the bases today, to say the least.
Yeah. Mildly surprised they had Nathan bunting, but boy, the big guy came through and laid down a nice bunt, didn't he?
Took some chances, it paid off. So here's Seavey. 1 down here, 8th inning, game tied at 2.
Another reason why I've never been a big fan of sacrifice bunt there is because Shemwell's a quality pitcher. He's throwing well there. To me, you just gave him an out pretty much, you know.
Clark coming on, but that's over by the third baseman, Southworth. I watched Clark because he had that one earlier, a little bit deeper, actually.
I think Southworth was staying in the field of play there, Darren. I don't know if our viewers can pick it up, but there's a white line that separates the bullpen from actual field of play. And I believe if you catch the ground rule is if you catch the ball in that bullpen area, it's considered out of play here at USI. So I think Andy was trying to balance his feet and stay in the field of play and make that catch, and it was a tough catch anyway. So, wow, Boonville's got 10 hits this game. They've out hit Newburgh 10-7.
Game tied at 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. They appeal
and they gave it to him. I'll be darned. Boy, the Boonville bench is up on that one there, and to be honest, I don't blame them. Usually, I think I'm sympathetic to umpires on that call because most times, if you think a guy went around, he usually did. All the bat has to do is throw across the plate. But that time, I think Boonville's got a point. I don't think there's any way that Seavey went around on that ball. I think he just barely took the pad off his shoulder, to tell you the truth. And boy, the Boonville bench was just livid on that one. And to tell you the truth, I really don't blame him. I wish this was one time I wish we had instant replay so we could see that, because
2 years away, Michael, we're going to have instant replay.
I hope I'm in Evansville to see that, Barry.
Me too.
Boy, it'd be nice to really see that instant replay.
Here's Tim Bonkelman with 2 away. Here's the Shem. Lutz is on deck.
Heads up play by Shemwell there. He was telling people, please appeal that play. And boy, I can see why he was now.
Well, that is Shemwell's first strikeout since coming in to face Bonkelman in the 4th inning.
Tim's up against it now. You know, left-handed hitter gets a left batter in the hole, 1-2. I'll take a real effort for him now to get a base hit and drive this run home.
1-2 pitch by Shemwell's a bit high. 2-2 to Bonkelman. The go-ahead run is down at second base. That is Kirkland. Exciting ball game here for the sectional championship. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Will come again with Lutz on deck. Bonkelman hanging tough here with Donnie Shemwell. Bonkelman singles. Went out to right field and Causey grounded out. Got him looking. Got him looking.
A bender by Shemwell. That ball really went down, Darren.
Back-to-back Ks ends the top half of the 8th inning, and this threat by Boonville. We move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-2, Boonville and Newburgh. Sectional championship on TV 52.
There's a spirit and philosophy that guides our business. It's called service. It's before the sale, it's after. And it's been going on since 1962. James Will Insurance. Why do so many businesses and individuals trust us and recommend us? Their insurance programs provide more for less. Do yours? James Will Insurance.
Evansville Sheet Metal, working with business and industry since 1946, offers a variety of services, including metal sales, fabrication of custom equipment, prototypes, and experimental projects. They're involved in manufacturing, short-run production, tooling, and on-site installation and repair service. They maintain the most up-to-date technology to support a complete CNC department, as well as multi-axis press brakes, MIG and TIG certified welders, and a large fleet of trucks. Evansville Sheet Metal Works, committed to excellence and to doing it right the first time.
Bottom half of the 8th inning. And nothing in 2 here to Dwayne Causey. It's Causey, Southworth, and Arterbury. And a 2-2 game, Michael.
Well, Darren, you can't ask for much more from a championship game. Very exciting, very well played. We've had a little bit of everything. Timely hitting, good pitching, excellent base running, excellent defense. As I said, you can't ask for a better script. Newburgh, which has kind of been the beast of this sectional the last 3 years, 3-time champs against the upstarts from Boonville. It's tremendous, and boy, what a nice piece of hitting by Dwayne Causey. Comes back, is down 0-2, got a ball, and then slaps a little base hit in the left field. As I said, Newburgh has got to like the way this game is going right now.
Leadoff single by Causey brings up Andy Southworth. And Newburgh is looking for their first lead in this game.
Right, and a telling stat in this game, Darren. Boonville, if you had to pick maybe one, Boonville's left 10 men on base. They had some 2-out opportunities and just have not been able to cash in. So, you know, they do have 10 hits, so obviously they've had some opportunities to score here.
18 hits in the ball game, though 10 belong to Boonville. 2-2 the score. The bottom half of the 8th inning.
Wayne is not as fast as some of his Newburgh counterparts. Not super slow, but not as fast either. I doubt in this situation he'll be running. And the ball rolls onto the field there from out of the Newburgh bullpen. Umpire's called time to retrieve that.
0-1 here to Southworth. Newburgh and Boonville tied at 2, and time is called. Newburgh trying to win their 4th in a row. Boonville trying to win their 1st since '89. Mount Vernon, Peyton Funkhauser eliminated. And this is your championship game. Check Causey back again. Resume the 0-1 here to Southworth. 0-1 pitch. A double play ball. Burns goes to Blackford. Burns Kirkland to Blackford. And now we have our first double play of this long day of baseball.
Very nicely turned there. Very nicely turned. Especially by the shortstop, Kirkland. Did a good job getting rid of the ball quickly. Knew Southworth, the runner with pretty good speed, was going down the line at first. The runner at first, Causey, he didn't let him bother him too much. Just a very well-turned double play there by Boonville. What looked like a promising inning for Newburgh has been kind of snuffed out here.
Chris Arterberry singled back in the 6th inning. Singled back in the 2nd inning. Stole the base.
Chris has had a good day at the plate in both games, Darren.
That one down low, and 2-0 here. The count from Bob Hodges. Hodges in for Houston. Great day for Houston, by the way. This game is tied up at 2. This long day of baseball may go a little longer. Into right field, Chris Ware will have it on one hop. This inning continues this bottom half of the 8th for Newburgh Kapperman.
Well, that double play looms large. Bob's defense has helped him out a little bit here, Darren. He had the runner Huff thrown out trying to end the 7th inning. And now here he gets the double play. Because quite frankly, Newburgh's hit some balls hard off him. Huff hit the ball hard to drive in the 1 run. And there you see a hard hit ball by Chris Arterberry, who, as you said, 3 for 4 today. Chris really swinging the bat well.
Well, here again is Sensenbrenner. Sensenbrenner out to talk to Bob Hodges.
Well, no one in the Boonville bullpen, so I think they're going to stick with Bob. Might be asking him how he feels here.
And Josh Helt, who's already singled and scored for Newburgh, one of the 2 on the board, is your batter here. The go-ahead run is Arterberry right now. He's at first base. And it'll be Bob Hodges facing Helt. Toon on deck, then Shemwell. 4-step lead for Arterberry over at first, and a slow hit ball to Pierman, and out at first. Holding on, Blackford. 4 batters faced, couple of singles and a double play, Michael.
Michael Pierman's played a great third base all afternoon, Darren, and he does it again there. Makes a nice play. That was not an easy play. He had to charge the ball, and a pretty good play by Nathan Blackford, hailing a no throw. And like we said, can't ask for much more. We're going into 9th tied in the sectional championship game.
8 in the book. We head to the 9th sectional championship on TV 52.
A few years back, Mark Williams came to us to plan for his retirement. Last year, the Crawfords came to us to remodel their home. Last month, Albert Whitaker came to see us for a new tractor wheel. And just last week, Denise Linhart came in for an auto loan. Because we like to take the lead when it comes to helping our customers. After all, isn't that what friends are for? Citizens Bank, leading the way.
The Tri-State rides on Ray-Ban.
Ray-Ban is where the Tri-State goes for quality tires and friendly service. Ray-Ban has the Goodyear tire for you, or your family car, or your pickup truck. Ray-Ban is the Tri-State service leader, and our certified technicians can do everything from brakes to computerized alignments with a nationwide guarantee.
The Tri-State rides on Ray-Ban. Ray-Ban tire.
Top half of the 9th inning at the 1994 American Legion Baseball Sectional Championship. It is Boonville and Newburgh all tied up at 2. Michael?
John Lutz will lead off the inning here. He's the number 9 hitter. It'd be a big boost for Boonville if he could find a way to get on. Then you're back to the top of the lineup, Chris Ware, and then Sean Burns, who came in to play second base, will bat in Houston's spot.
Chopper here goes to Helk at shortstop. Going to have to hurry to get him, and it's not in time.
Oh, bang, bang play, and Newburgh did not get the call. Boy, that was a tough call for the first base umpire there, Benji Garlow. I would not want to make that in a pressure situation like this, but it was a tough play, very close play.
So Lutz is on. There's your potential go-ahead. That's your go-ahead. Chris Weir. He singled back in the 7th, doubled in the 1st. Try to get on a 3rd time here in the 9th inning. Game tied at 2. Boonville and Newburgh. Winner goes to Princeton. Lutz on a first time in this 2nd game. Burns on deck. His first at bat is coming up.
Let's see what Chris does here. A wonderful bunt, swing away. He's showing bunt.
I would say bunt. Yeah, you want to get him down to 2nd. You got Burns and Hodges coming up.
Well, I hate to take the bat out of a good hitter's hands like Chris Ware. He is facing a left-hander, though, so that's going to make it a little tougher on him. By the way, Shemwell, according to our count here, Darren, has pitched 9 innings over the next 2 days. The limit is 12.
Well, he got the job done. That's what Ware was supposed to do. Lutz is down at 2nd, and now maybe a base hit away from grabbing the lead 3-2. Yeah, that inning rule they got there, huh?
Yeah, I don't think not any real jeopardy of that yet, but if we go in extra innings, something to keep in mind for Newburgh.
Well, here is Burns. Sean Burns. His first official bat in this 2nd game.
And Sean, who didn't play most of this game, has a chance to be the hero right now. Lutz on down at 2nd, 1 out. If he doesn't get it done, Bobby Hodges is a good hitter on deck. And you know Bobby, after what happened, that giving up that big hit to B.J. Huff, he would like nothing better to get a chance here. Drive in the potential winning run. A good first pitch by Shemler there to Burns.
0-1 here to Burns. Down at 2nd is Lutz. The go-ahead for Boonville here in the 9th inning in a 2-2 ball game. Into the outfield, Bennett and Clark. Going to move on over, and there is Sean Bennett. Big 2nd out. 2 away here in the top half of the 9th inning.
Be interesting to see how they pitch to Hodges here. They may just put him on, good right-handed hitter against the left-handed pitcher Shemwell, set up the force-off. And then you've got Michael Pierman, who's had a pretty good day today, 2 for 4. He's the on-deck batter. So a decision here for Joe Liss. And I think they're going to pitch to him.
No, I think they're going to walk him.
No, they are going to walk him. I take that back there. And they were, the way they were standing inside the dugout, I thought they were going to pitch to him. And then the catcher, Toon, put his arm out. So obviously they are going to walk him.
Matt Toon, Donnie Shemwell, Sean Bennett coming up in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Well, I can't say I blame him for this, even though Pierman's had a good day. I mean, Hodges is going to the University of Evansville, Division I school.
Good decision.
He's obviously got some ability. A good player like this, against a left-handed hitter, I don't think I'd deal with it either. Set up the force out and try to get Michael Pierman. So Michael Pierman, who's had a great tournament, is going to have one more chance to come through here for Boonville. And you can tell Hodges is ticked off. He's not getting a chance to hit here. I know he's probably very upset for giving up that game-tying hit to B.J. Huff. He really wants to swing the bat, but Newburgh is not going to let him, it looks like.
Mike Pierman will get the shot. After that, Kirkland. You know something? Just a thought. Put Pierman on also. Kirkland's.
No, I don't think you do that there.
Kirkland 1 for 8 today.
Yeah, I think you're messing with trouble there, but putting that potential go-ahead run at 3rd base. I would never. I don't want to say never.
The only thought is.
I'd be very hesitant to walk a guy to move a runner up, the potential winning run up even more.
The only thought was that Kirkland is 1 for 8 today.
Yeah, he has struggled, but still. And Pierman has had a good day, but still, he's the guy. I think Shemwell's got to bear down and try to get out here. And he didn't do it, and we're going to have a play at the plate, Darren.
Here comes Clark. It'll be the arm of Clark in here at the plate. Coming in tight. Drop the ball. He's safe. He is safe.
And good base running by Boonville. Both runners move up there. Clark had a chance to get him, but the ball short-hopped Toon a little bit, and he wasn't able to come up with it. If the throw's on line, they might have had him. I don't know if they would have or not, but they might have had him. And Toon wasn't able to block the plate as well as he did on the earlier play at the plate the game there when they nailed a runner at home, when Bennett threw the ball home.
Big RBI for Mike Pierman.
And for Michael Pierman, there can't be a better feeling in the world. They walk Hodges to get to you, thinking they've got a better chance to get you out, and you make them pay. And now Boonville, this inning's not over. Keith Kirkland can really give him some big insurance here.
3-2 Boonville. And the defending champions will have their last chance coming up in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
I don't know if they would have gotten him anyway, Darren. It would have been a bang-bang play at the plate, but the ball did short hop Toon a little bit. Maybe he could have come out and gotten a little more, although you really, if you're the catcher, you're taught to let the ball come to you in that situation. You don't want to go out and get it because that'll cost you valuable time.
Here's Keith Kirkland. Trying to add to that. Here is Matt Toon. And Matt Toon will begin the bottom half of the 9th inning. Let's call it the last call for Newburgh Camperman. The defending champions down to their final 3 outs, bottom half of the 9th. We go there next on TV 52.
Oh, no. Gucci, Gucci, goo for the 8th time. Come on, guys. Get serious. I got plans. College, career.
Cool it, kiddo. They have Old National helping you with a wide range of investment options and professional advice, so your college is set. Shows you what 160 years of experience can do.
College is set?
Hey, kid, life can be fun at your bank for life, Old National.
I'm so happy, I could cry.
Craftsmanship. Craftsmanship in law. Berger & Berger, making a world of difference.
It is the last call for Newburgh Camperman. The defending champions of this sectional, the last 3 years actually, has belonged to Newburgh. And now Boonville is just 3 outs away from dethroning the 3-time champions, Michael.
All right, there's going to be the 8, 9, and top of the order for Newburgh in this inning. Matt Toon will lead it off. Shum will do up next, but I'm sure we'll have a pinch hitter, and Jason Kemp's already out on deck, and then back up to the top of the order, Bennett. Scott Schimmel maybe getting a bad feeling of deja vu there. He took the loss in relief for Harrison High School in their sectional game to North this year. A quality pitcher, but he had a rough eye that day. Today he pitched great until that inning. And even really didn't pitch that bad, but a big timely hit by Michael Pierman, who might just be the MVP of this tournament there. And he has really done it all. Played great defense, gotten some really timely hitting. He's just done a great job. And like I'm saying, when I'm a Castle High School fan, I'm looking at this game, I'm saying, heck, we should have a pretty good team next year.
And they will.
And they will, you're right.
Matt Toon, 3 outs to go for Boonville. Or will Newburgh come from behind to win their 4th straight?
Oh, nice pitch.
Bob Hodges.
Well, you know, Bob, as great a player as he's been in his high school career, he's always been in kind of tough situations. He's been playing for Boonville American Legion, and years where they've been okay, but they've had a hard time measuring up against, teams like Newburgh. He's played at Tecumseh High School, a small high school which has a hard time competing, against other schools in the area, especially schools like the city schools. So he really hasn't played for that winning championship team in his high school career. Now he's got a chance to do that. I can imagine he's probably the most fired up player on the field right now, quite frankly.
Well, Jason Kemp bats for Shemwell here. And the obvious move. Bennett, maybe their last chance. 2 outs to go here for Boonville, and they'll have their first sectional championship since 1989. So the first here is fouled off for strike 1. Toon gone on the K. And again, Bennett's on deck.
Go, Jason! Go, Jason!
Line on Don Shemwell, 5 1/3 innings, Darren. Struck out 2, walked 1. Allowed 4 hits and just the 1 run. It was earned, but it could make him a loser here today.
Bob Hodges ahead, 0-2. Hodges has been sharp as of late. Gave him a triple to Bennett. He's on deck. That wasn't bad either. 1-2 here to Kemp.
I really thought Bob may have... That pitch must have been a little high there. I thought he threw it right down the middle, to tell you the truth.
Here's the 1-2 by Bob Hodges to Jason Kemp. And will come again. Foul here on the third base side. Bennett's on deck. Maybe the last chance for Newburgh. They're down 3-2 here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Come on, Jason!
Well, you can just tell, looking at Bob right now, he's fired up. He's really focused in. he knows he's close to that sectional title.
First-year head coach. Going to be 1 for 1 in sectional play.
Yeah,
2 and 2.
So this be a great tip of the cap to Dave Sensenbrenner, winning the sectional title here in his first year with a team, you know, that really, since that winning that state title, 89 has not had a lot of success in this sectional, Darren. And boy, they, I don't know if they've come out of nowhere. I think some of the opposing teams like Peyton, Newburgh, and Funkhauser knew Boonville had a pretty good team, but if you look at their record against their opponents in this sectional during the regular season, it wasn't that good. Funkhauser beat them twice, Newburgh beat them twice. So I think with pretty good reason, a lot of people thought they were kind of the underdogs outside of Mount Vernon, but boy, they have come through, and now Sean Bennett.
Last chance.
Could be Sean's last at bat here with the Newburgh American Legion team. He's been a pleasure to watch over these last few months in both football and baseball.
He definitely has. Look forward to watching him play for Robin Cooper and Jim Brownlee next year over at the U of E. 1 out to go. Sean Bennett in 3-2 in favor of Boonville.
Yeah, the only way that would change if somebody came along here late and made Division I offer to him, maybe in baseball as well. But Sean's also very picky about his academics. He turned down a pretty good baseball offer from Murray State, so probably going to end up at Evansville.
Trying to bunt his way aboard with his speed. He's done that many a times here in this uniform. 1 strike to go for Boonville, and they're the sectional champions. 1 and 2 will come to Bennett. Bennett has struck out a couple of times. That was back in the first game, 13-9 in favor of Newburgh. Forcing this one, the deciding game, in Boonville up by a score of 3-2. It'll come 1-2 to Sean Bennett. So Hodges set, struck out Toon and struck out Kemp. 1 strike away from giving Boonville their first since '89. He did it! He did it! Sean Bennett goes down on the K, and Bob Hodges, as mauled as Boonville, has their first sectional baseball championship since 1989.
Bob Hodges did in style, Darren, striking out all 3 Newburgh hitters in the game. Him and Jacob Houston, tremendous job today holding this very powerful Newburgh line to just 2 runs. Got to hand it to Boonville, Darren. They were the best team throughout this tournament, and I think this year the best team won. And for Newburgh, a great run comes to the end. You know, as we said earlier, probably the best American Legion team in the state the last 3 years. This year, I just don't know if they had quite the pitching depth they've had in the past. A good hitting team, but maybe not quite as good as some of those other teams. Just couldn't quite pull it off today. And just, but you got to hand it to Boonville. What a way to bounce back after losing that first game.
Well, a battle of Warwick County.
And Dave Sensenbrenner is about to get doused.
That's the first-year head coach getting it.
Boy, they made sure, didn't they? A little tackle there from behind to make sure he gets it.
We'll wrap it up. The 1994 sectional championship. Congratulations to Boonville. And Mike and I are back after this timeout.
E.M. Sable & Associates, insurance and investment products for both business and personal planning. They say only 2 things in life are inevitable, death and taxes. But when it comes to the well-being of yourself, employees, or loved ones, planning is a must. Without it, death and taxes can become a nightmare. At E.M. Sable, they take care in assisting clients with life and health insurance, personal and business planning, and employee benefits. They've been successful because they help eliminate your fear of the inevitable. Make life your best investment with E.M. Sable & Associates.
Welcome you back to USI with the 1994 champions of this sectional. American Legion, who works for Boonville, and head coach Dave Sensenbrenner, first-year head coach, and your first sectional championship.
Yes, it is, and it's well-deserved. I mean, we knew coming in that we was going to have to go through Newburgh, and they were here today. And tough first game for us, but they jumped out real quick, and we decided to come back and get some runs. I thought that gave some momentum, gave some confidence to come back and play the second game. You know, they hear a lot about the Pates and the Funkhausers and the Newburghs, and we wanted to make a statement today about Boonville's also a Legion club also. And I think we came out and played good ball, and I think it's well-deserved.
You guys certainly proved yourself. Definitely in the second game, a great play second game. Jacob Houston getting you there, and then your decision to make the move.
Yeah, well, Jacob's been doing a nice job for us all year, and they have 3 left-handers in the lineup. I wanted to go with him. Go as far as I could with him, then I was going to go with Bobby the rest of the way. That 1 inning there, we came up, we had a left-hander up, and I was going to let him face the left-hander, and Bob was going to go from there. And it worked out. We got a big hit in the 9th inning there. They did a good baseball decision. I mean, they walked Bobby to get to Michael, and Michael came through with a big hit.
In Boonville's first sectional championship since 1989, how did it feel actually going into that final inning and knowing you guys had the lead?
Oh, it felt great. Just I just felt I had a responsibility to these guys, and luckily I came through. So,
guys, congratulations. They're #1 so far in 1994, the 1994 sectional champions. Best of luck in Princeton. They're Boonville. We'll wrap it up after this timeout.
Woo! Yeah!
Because it's your time, your money, your future. You need a guide to today's complex business world. Fast, early, before you start your business day.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's business.
From the boardrooms to the assembly lines, who's leading the pack and who's bottoming out.
Now for a final look at today's top stories on the economic front.
Wherever the changes are taking place, your business future begins with this morning's business.
Well, we wrap up the 1993-94 sports season on this night, as we usually do, with sectional championship baseball. And Boonville is the winner here.
Well, they played the best this week there. I don't think there's anything about it. You know, their pitching, which didn't appear to be real deep, came through for them. They got timely hit, and they played great defense, and that's a recipe for winning. And, you know, you kind of feel bad for Newburgh because they had a tremendous run, you know, and they had a good team again this year. But, you know, Boonville just played a little bit better this week.
Yeah, 3 times in a row it was Newburgh, but not on this night. Newburgh won earlier by a score of 13-9. Wild affair, this one more like a baseball game, a great championship game.
This was a classic there, and I think, you know, this is one of these games, I think, when the Newburgh kids, when the hurt wears off, you know, they realize they just played in maybe one of the greatest American Legion sectional championship games we've had around here. I mean, this game had a little bit of everything, timely hitting, you know, great defense, all the things I just mentioned. They were all present in this game, and you can see when you watch a game like this why American Legion has become so popular and really probably the dominant amateur baseball program in this part of the state.
Congratulations to Boonville and best of luck to those guys as they head to Princeton for the 1994 regional, this year's state championship. Maybe Boonville a part of that. It'll be over in Anderson. That's it for about 3.5 weeks here on TV 52 as we take our little vacation from you. We're back on August 24th to begin our 5th season coverage of high school soccer. I will talk to you then. For Michael Pointer, I'm Darren Smith. From USI, good night.
Good evening, everybody. I'm George Michael in shot.